Welcome to HOJO Radio.
The Spry Treat of the Week. Spry croquettes, tempting golden brown croquettes so crisp and tender crusted they break at the touch of a fork. Delicious? For crispy, full-flavored fried foods, get pure, bland, all-vegetable shortening at its creamy best. That's Spry. S-P-R-Y.
Our next broadcast is a radio and television comedy series that ran for over 3 decades, from 1932 to 1955 on radio and from 1950 to 1965 on television. It won numerous awards, including the 1959 Emmy for Best Comedy Show, and is generally regarded as the high watermark in 20th century American comedy. Ladies and gentlemen, we present to you the Jack Benny Program on HOJO Radio.
J-E-L-L-O. The Jell-O program starring Jack Benny with Mary Livingston.
No, Don, not Jell-O. It's Grape Nuts Flakes this year. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, darn it. The Grapes Nuts Flakes program starring Jack Benny.
No, not Grape Nuts Flakes. What's the matter with you?
Oh, yes,
I'll get fired.
The Grape Nuts Flakes program starring Jack Benny with Mary Livingston, Phil Harris, Dennis Day, Rochester, and yours truly, Don Wilson. And now we have a new star on our program tonight that I'd like all you listeners to meet. This new star is a favorite with millions of loyal and ardent fans all over America. In fact, this particular star is a morning star, a star that enjoys top billing on a coast-to-coast breakfast circuit. Ladies and gentlemen, I present Grape Nuts Flakes, the breakfast treat that has risen to stardom because of its delicious, distinctive appeal. Yes, friends, Grape Nuts Flakes today are America's fastest-growing cereal, and have been America's fastest-growing cereal for the past 3 years. And why? Because of flavor. A flavor that's malty rich, sweet as a nut, absolutely different from any other cereal in America. And that's because Grape Nuts Flakes are made a different way. They're a blend of 2 luscious grains instead of only 1, sun-ripened wheat and malted barley. And they're toasted, golden brown and crisp, to bring out the rich goodness of each wholesome grain. So feature Grape Nuts Flakes at your breakfast table every morning. For a delicious and nourishing treat, ask for Grape Nuts Flakes in the big 12-ounce economy-size package. Pennsylvania Polka played by the orchestra. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let us turn back the clock 1 hour and show you what happened on the way to the studio. Jack, in line with the Share Your Car campaign, volunteered to pick up the gang in his Maxwell and drive us all down to the first broadcast.
That's the least I could do.
Anyway, Jack called me and told me to be waiting in front of my house, as he and Rochester would be along just as soon as they'd picked up Mary.
Oh, boy, it'll be great to get back on the air again.
Feel good, eh, boss?
You said it. I got spurs that jingle, jangle, jingle as I go riding merrily along. Oh, Lily Bell. Oh, Lily. Well, I'll be... Rochester, put down that banjo. You're driving the car. Put it down and grab hold of the steering wheel.
This is the wheel. I just put strings on it.
Yes, drive, will you? I got spurs that jingle. Gee, it sure feels good to be going back to work, eh, Mary?
Yeah, but it'll seem funny not broadcasting for Jell-O this year.
Well, it's not so much of a change. After all, it's the same sponsor, same station, same time.
Well, I hope we have some new material. I'm sick of all those jokes about your toupee.
Me too.
Then pull it up a little. You look like Veronica Lake.
Say, is that bad? I got spurs.
And another thing. You ought to be ashamed having that big sign on the back of the car.
What sign?
Coming soon. Jack Benny and George Washington slept here.
Well, that's my new picture.
Pardon me, boss, but shouldn't Miss Ann Sheridan's name be on that sign, too?
Well,
Mr. Benny and Washington were such friends it'd be a shame to have anybody else there.
Mary, save those quips for the program, will you? Yes, sir. I got spurs that jingle, jangle,
I got spurs that jingle, jingle,
as I go riding merrily
as
along.
I go riding merrily along.
And they say... Uh-oh, slow up, Rochester, slow up.
What's the matter, boss?
Never mind, slow up. Duck down, Mary, duck down.
What for?
Duck down, duck down. Pardon me, miss. I'm cooperating in the Share Your Car campaign. May I give you a lift to Hollywood?
Like I told you yesterday, no.
Okay. Drive on, Rochester. That's gratitude for you. Offer a girl... Rochester, take it easy. There's a red light up ahead.
It'll be green, red, and green again before we get to it.
Just take it easy, that's all. 35 miles an hour. That's the new speed limit.
Well, let's get a new motor and have a go at it.
Listen, Rochester, you're going to miss this little car when we're riding around in that buggy I bought. Hey, that reminds me, I've got to get a horse for that buggy.
A horse? Oh, then you gave up the idea of letting Dennis pull it.
Well, that was just a wild thought. Besides, if I ever hit him with a whip, his mother'd kill me. Hey, there's Don Wilson waiting for us. Hello, Don.
Hello, Jack, Mary.
Hello, Don.
Hop in, Mr. Wilson.
Well, hello, Rochester. Where'll I sit, Jack?
Right in the middle or over we go.
Don't get cute, Rochester. This isn't a canoe.
Say, Don, I'll bet you're a little nervous about going on the air for a new product.
Yeah, aren't you a little jittery?
No. Why, I'm just crazy about those good old Grape Nuts flakes.
Don, that's grape nuts flakes. Grape. Watch it. Turn here, Rochester. Dennis lives right up the street. I got spurs that jingle, jangle,
I got spurs
jingle,
that jingle, jingle,
as I
jingle.
go riding merrily.
As I go riding merrily.
They say, oh, ain't you glad? Dennis!
Oh, Dennis! Yes, Mother? Hurry up. Veronica Lake is waiting for you. Yeah. Here's your hat and your music.
Thanks, Mother.
And here's 10 cents. I'm sure Mr. Benny won't charge more than the bus. Goodbye.
Bye, Mother. Here I am, Mr. Benny. Hello, everybody.
Hello, Dennis. How are you? Where'd you get the red hair, kid? Well, what are you waiting for, kid? Hop in the car.
I'm not moving one step until I find out if I get a raise this year.
You better get in this car, kid. Kenny Baker is in the tool chest. Now get in.
Yes, sir.
All right, Rochester, we got to pick up Mr. Harris now.
Well, Dennis, you all set for the first program?
I sure am. Oh, by the way, Mr. Benny, I shopped all over for a horse collar, but I couldn't find one to fit me.
Well, don't bother about it, kid. I'm getting a horse. I got spurs that jingle.
What's a horse got that I haven't got?
It's nothing against you, Dennis. I'm just getting a horse, that's all. Now, forget it. As I go right...
Gosh, and I cut holes in my straw hat so my ears could stick through.
Too bad. And they sing, oh, ain't you glad you're single?
Get hot, Daddy.
And that song ain't so very far from wrong. Oh, Lily Bell.
Oh, Lily Bell.
Oh, Lily Bell.
Oh, Lily.
Rochester, don't sing while you're driving. Now turn left here and we'll pick up Mr. Harris. I told him to be waiting on the corner here.
Isn't that Phil up ahead?
Where?
Right there, and he's pushing a baby carriage.
Oh, yeah. He's talking to a street cleaner.
That's the nurse. She's got a white uniform on.
Oh, yes. Gee, I'll be glad to see his baby. Hey, Phil! Hiya, Jackson. Hello, everybody. Hiya, Phil. Sir, well, get a load of that baby of yours.
Ain't she a Lulu, Jackson?
Well, I'll be darned.
Let me hold her, will you, Phil?
Here you are, Mary.
There now. Oh, isn't she a darling?
Say, Phil, are those the little booties I sent the baby?
No, they didn't fit, Jackson. You must have had awful big feet when you were a kid.
Hey, I was a rugged little rascal.
Oh, God, Jack. Look at those blonde curls.
I used to have curls that made those look like a nickel. Way down to my ankles.
Your arms are way down to your ankles, too.
Never mind.
Jack lived on peanuts till he was 18.
That's so.
Let me hold the baby, Mary.
Here you are, Don.
Careful now, careful.
Don't worry, nurse. Coochie, coochie, coochie.
Gee, she's always laughing. Let me hold her, Don.
Okay, Jack, here you are.
I got her. Coochie, coochie, coochie. Now, don't be afraid. It's Uncle Jackie. Remember, I gave you those booties. Here, Phil, you better take her. Here, take the kid. Okay. Well, come on, let's get going.
Oh, isn't she cute?
Coochie, coochie, coochie.
Dennis, put down the nurse. What's the matter with you? Come on, Phil, leave your baby with the nurse and let's get to the studio.
Right with you, Jackson. Oh, nurse, I'll be home about 9:30, so be sure and have my bottle ready.
Your bottle?
Gin through a nipple. It's out of this world, Jackson.
I must try it sometime. Come on, Rochester, let's go. Watch the traffic now.
Say, Jackson, ain't Alice and me got the cutest kid you ever seen?
Sure, cute.
Yeah, Phil, I must congratulate you. That baby of yours is a beautiful child.
And what a disposition, always laughing.
Not while I was holding her, she wasn't laughing.
Well, what are you so mad about? You were holding the kid and she cried a little. That's all that happened. Oh, yeah? Drive on, Rochester, drive on.
Step on it, fellas. We've only got a half an hour before the broadcast.
Hope you brought your pass, Jack. You know, NBC has to be pretty strict for the duration.
Oh, all that red tape is silly. Come on, fellas, follow me.
Just a minute there. Gotta have passes, you know. Gotta have passes.
Passes?
Company regulations. I don't make the rules, you know.
Oh, for heaven's sake. Now, look, officer.
Here's my pass.
Here's mine, Smiling Phil Harris, the Daily Double.
See you later, Mr. Benny.
Okay, kid. Now, look, officer, I left my pass at home. Come on, Mary.
Oh, no, you don't. One more step and I'll grill you.
Yipe, he's got a gun. Now, officer, I'm Benny, Jack Benny. Now, get Mr. Swallow, the manager, on the phone. He'll identify me.
Mr. Swallow isn't in. Keep your hands up, you saboteur.
Me, a saboteur? Me?
What's that package you're hiding under your coat?
That's my lunch, a deviled egg sandwich and a banana. You want a bite? Mary, tell this guy who I am.
I'm Mary Livingston, and he's Jack Benny. Here's my pass.
You satisfied? Can we go in now?
No hard feelings. Rules, you know.
You can put that revolver back in your holster.
Okay. Doggone, that's the third toe today.
Come on, Mary, let's go inside. All that trouble for nothing. Oh, wait a minute, Mary. Here's the fan mail department. I might as well pick up my bundle. After all, I've been off the air 4 months, you know.
Gosh, look at all the mail here. Fibber McGee, Aldrich family, Bing Crosby.
We all get it. Oh, miss, is there any mail here for me, Jack Benny?
Like I told you yesterday, no.
I knew I'd seen her someplace before. Can't understand it. What's happened to my fans? Why don't they write?
Well, maybe they think you're a military secret.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, hello there, Mr. Benny. How's my favorite comedian today?
Fine. Oh, Mary, I'd like to have you meet Robert Welch. Mr. Welch is the new producer of our program.
I'm glad to know you, Mr. Welch.
I kiss your hand, madame.
Oh, fine.
Oh, pardon me, Mr. Welch. Miss Livingston's wristwatch seems to have got caught in your teeth. Thanks. Now, Mr. Welch, we're in a hurry, and I'm nervous today. Now, what studio are we broadcasting from today?
Well, now, let me see. Say, that's important, isn't it?
Well, it certainly is. Now, you're the new producer. Where are we broadcasting from?
Now, let me see. I'm not getting off a very good start, am I?
No, you're not. Now, check on it. Check on it, for heaven's sake.
Okay, check.
Gosh, he's so nervous, you know. Oh, here's Wilson. Say, Don, did you find out what studio we're broadcasting from?
Yes, Jack, we're in Studio B across the hall here.
Good. Let's go in and get our rehearsal started.
Well, I'm afraid we'll have to wait a few minutes, Jack. There's a program rehearsing in there now.
What program?
The Heartaches of Sally Sutton.
Oh, the Heartaches of Sally Sutton? Say, that's one of my favorites.
That program is strictly for housewives.
Oh, it is, eh? Well, Rochester and I listen to it every morning while we're doing the dishes. And their soap doesn't give you the dishpan hands, either. Come on, let's go inside and watch them, huh? Oh, boy, I can hardly wait to see Rochester's face tomorrow morning when I tell him everything before it happens.
Shh, quiet.
And so, chin up, but with tears in eyes. Sally Sutton faces the bitter realization that her once happy home is about to be broken up.
That husband of hers has really been playing around, the rat.
Acting on the advice of old Judge Hooper, who lives in the little house at the bend of the road, Sally is determined to have a showdown with her husband, Paul.
And Rochester thinks they're going to smooth things out.
Jack, quiet.
It is midnight, and Sally, chin up, but with tear-dimmed eyes, is awaiting Paul's arrival. Good evening, sweetheart. Am I late for dinner?
Oh, Paul, how can you call me sweetheart when your mind is on another?
Then you.
Yes, Paul, I know. I found out all about you and that welder at Lockheed.
If you're referring to Nancy Randolph, there's absolutely nothing between us.
Oh, Paul, lies.
I swear it. I've never even seen her in a dress.
Dress or overalls, that Nancy is a siren.
No use, Paul. This is the end.
You mean?
Yes, a divorce.
A divorce?
A divorce!
Jack, for heaven's sake.
Oh, Paul, I've forgiven you time after time. First it was that cigarette girl, then that telephone operator, then that model.
And don't forget that usherette.
And then that usherette. I tell you, Paul, a divorce is our only solution.
Very well, my dear. But I'm afraid that our son, Wilbur, must go with me, his father.
No, not that.
No, Paul. Would you take a 10-year-old child away from his mother? You can't do it. I'll fight for him.
Oh, boy, wait till tomorrow morning. I'm going to bet Rochester $5 they're going to get a divorce. It's a cinch.
Please, Paul. He's my child as well as yours.
All right, Sally. We'll let the boy decide. Oh, Wilbur! Wilbur, will you please come in here?
Yes, your father and I would like to talk to you.
Mother, Father, did you call me?
Dennis! Dennis Day, what are you doing on this program?
Well, I gotta make some money someplace.
I don't care. You're working for me. Now listen, kid.
Mr. Benny, please, we're rehearsing.
Well, I'm sorry to interrupt, but we're on the air in a few minutes, and I've got to have Dennis. It's our first broadcast. I got to have the studio.
Oh,
too.
all right, you saboteur.
This is a deviled egg sandwich and a banana. Now get out of here and let us rehearse. Now see here, Dennis.
Yes, Father.
I'm not your father. That's the other guy. Now let's get going around here. Dennis, run over your song. We got to rehearse that.
How can he sing without an orchestra?
Oh, for Phil, where are the orchestra boys?
I don't know. Oh, yes, I put them in Beacon's warehouse for the summer.
Well, get them out. Get them out.
Well, Jack, don't you think I better rehearse the commercial once? After all, this is a new product.
Okay, Don, yeah, rehearse it. Gee, we'll be on the air right away.
Ladies and gentlemen, next time you go to your neighborhood grocer, why not ask for America's most distinctive flake cereal? Toasty, brown, sweet as a nut, Grapes Nuts Flakes.
No, Don, not grapes. That's grape.
Oh, darn it. You will find that Grape Nuts Flakes are a thrifty buy in the big 12-ounce economy size package. So be sure to look for the big red letters on the box.
Don, that was Jell-O. These are white letters, white.
So be sure to look for the big white letters on the box.
They're little white letters, little, Don.
So be sure to look for the little white letters on the box. They spell Grapes Nuts Flakes.
There you go again.
Oh, what's the matter with me?
Here they are, Jackson. Here's the boys. Well, it's about time.
Hold everything there. You gotta have passes, you know. Gotta have passes.
Oh, get out of here. Now, Don, watch that commercial. It's all right to say Grapes Nuts Flakes now. But for heaven's sake, don't make that mistake when we're on the air or our sponsor will have a fit.
Holy smoke, does our sponsor have fits?
No, pay attention to the conversation, kid. All right, run over your song. Give him an introduction, Phil, will
Okay, hit it, boy.
I'm a wreck already, only the first broadcast.
Be careful, it's my heart. It's not my watch you're holding, it's my heart. It's not a note I sent you that you quickly burned. It's not a book I lent you that you never returned. Remember, it's my heart, the heart with which so willingly I fought. It's yours to take, to keep or break. But please, before you start, be careful. It's my heart.
Stand by. We're on the air in 60 seconds.
Oh, my goodness. Hurry it up, Dennis. Finish your song. We're going on the air.
Remember, it's my heart, the heart with which so willingly I fought. It's yours to take, to keep or break, but please, before you start, be careful. It's my
Good, swell. That song will be okay, Dennis. Now, Mary, pass out the scripts, will you? We'll be on the air in about 20 seconds. Grab your scripts, everybody.
We haven't got any scripts.
Your writers didn't bring them in yet.
What? No scripts?
Stand by, everybody. 15 seconds.
Oh, Oh, for Pete's sake, no script.
What are we going to do, Jack?
I don't know. I'll have to ad-lib something. I'll tell you what. I'll start out by saying, hello, everybody, this is Jack Benny. You know, folks, a funny thing happened to me on the way to the studio.
You leave Phil's baby out of this.
I didn't mean that. Darn, my writer's a fine spot they put me in. Here I am, chin up, but with tear-dimmed eyes, and no script. They've had all summer to get this program written. One little program.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is exactly what happened before we were supposed to go on the air tonight. And now, for tonight's show...
Don, how can we do a show without a script?
You gotta have jokes, you know. You gotta have jokes.
Oh, what's the use? Play something, Phil.
You know, friends, most of us these days are faced with the problem of getting more mileage out of our tires. But homemakers face a different mileage problem. That's how to get more mileage from food by getting more nourishment per spoonful. Well, here's a suggestion for you from the Government Nutrition Program. Eat more of the vital protective foods that you should have every day. That includes whole grain cereals. Cereals such as delicious, toasty brown Grape Nuts Flakes. For Grape Nuts Flakes are a whole grain cereal, so they supply important whole grain food values, including iron, niacin, and vitamin B1. Extra vitamin B1. For Grape Nuts Flakes bring you even more B1 to the ounce than you find in the whole grain itself. And honestly, there isn't a more delicious way to get this grand all-around nourishment. For Grape Nuts Flakes are malty rich, sweet as a nut, crammed full of wide-awake, flavorful goodness. Remember, you owe it to yourself to start every morning with the proper nourishment. And you can do that and enjoy it with good-to-eat, nourishing Grape Nuts Flakes.
Oh, what a wreck I am. Tell you, it isn't worth it. Oh, gosh, that was the most humiliating experience I've ever had.
How'd the show go, boss?
We didn't have a show, Rochester. No script.
Were your writers over-martinied again?
No, they just didn't work. Oh, by the way, Rochester, remind me to tune in on the heartaches of Sally Sutton tomorrow morning. I have a hunch Paul and Sally are going to split up.
No, boss. They're in love. Mr. Sutton might play around a little bit, but they ain't never going to separate.
Oh, no? Well, I'll tell you what, Rochester. I'll just bet you $5 they're going to get a divorce. And they're going to fight over the kid, too.
Oh, Jack, you ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Well, he thinks he knows everything. This'll be a lesson to him.
The Jack Benny program is written by Bill Morrow and Ed Beloy.
Take it easy, Mom.
You know your young folks are going to eat when you give them sugar crinkles for breakfast. Yes, boys and girls love sugar crinkles. And no wonder. It's the sugar rice treat that's just right sweet. Makes breakfast more fun than a circus. Now, the reason sugar crinkles suit your folks to a T is this. Some sugar-coated cereals they've tried seem too sweet. Others don't seem sweet enough. But when they dip their first spoonful of sugar crinkles, they've discovered a sugar-coated cereal that's just right sweet. And say those young folks of yours love to dip into the pack and eat sugar crinkles as a snack, too. So better get several packages.
HOJO Radio, we're your old-time radio headquarters. Stay tuned.
The Jell-O program starring Jack Benny with Mary Livingston.
No, Don, hold it, for heaven's sake. Remember our new product.
Oh, yes. The Grape Nuts Flakes program.
That's Grape Nuts Flakes, great.
The Grape Nuts Flakes program, starring Jack Benny with Mary Livingston, Phil Harris, Dennis A. Rochester, and yours truly, Don Wilson, coming to you from the Army Air Base at Santa Ana, California. Say, friends, did this ever happen to you? You dash out of bed, stub your toe on the alarm clock, nick your face while you're shaving, get the shirt missing a button, clump downstairs wearing your before-breakfast blitzkrieg look, and right there on the table sits a great, big, tempting bowl full of Grape Nuts Flakes. And what happens now? Well, you sample that outstanding Grape Nuts Flakes flavor. It's your same favorite Grape Nuts flavor in toasty brown flake form, moldy, rich, and sweet as a nut. So you look at your wife and you actually beam, for there's plenty of satisfaction in that grand goodness, the flavor that's made Grape Nuts Flakes America's fastest-growing cereal. That's because Grape Nuts Flakes are made in a different way. They're a blend of two luscious grains, sun-ripened wheat and malted barley, toasted golden brown and crisp and delicate, tempting flakes. So for smooth-tasting, smooth-tempered breakfast that baby your budget, ask for delicious, thrifty Grape Nuts Flakes in the big 12-ounce package. Corps March played by the orchestra. Now, ladies and gentlemen, since we're at the Army Air Base at Santa Ana, we would like to reenact a scene which took place last Thursday when two cadets from this very field paid a visit to Jack Benny at his home in Beverly Hills.
Oh, Don, who wants to hear about that?
Jack and Rochester were hard at work in the kitchen, as I understand it, little suspecting that anyone would drop their homework.
Oh, boy, that sure smells good. I got spurs that jingle, jangle, jingle. As I go riding, see what else? Tomatoes, vinegar, onions. Oh, Rochester, did you cut up those onions like I told you to? Rochester, did you cut up those onions?
I'm cutting them up now, boss.
Oh, pull yourself together. How many onions you got there?
About 5, boss. Do you want any more?
Yes, get busy. And stop crying.
I can't help it, boss.
Look, Rochester, if the onions make you cry while you're chopping them up, don't stand so close to them.
Close to them? I'm using a hoe now.
All right, I'll do the onions. And you get these jars ready. Have you got the labels?
Here they are. Mother Benny's old-fashioned homemade chili sauce.
Hey, they're pretty fancy, aren't they?
Yeah, and I like our new slogan. Our chili is hot on rump roaster pot.
Yeah, that ought to get us plenty of customers. Well, I might as well finish these onions myself.
This sauce don't look just right. You know, boss, I don't think we got enough tomatoes in here. I said I don't think we got enough tomatoes in here. Shall I put some more tomatoes in, Mr. Benny?
There's plenty of tomatoes in there. All the recipe calls for.
Well, the onions are ready. Dump them in, Rochester.
Okay.
I want to get all this stuff cooked and bottled before Miss Livingston gets here. I promised to take her shopping.
It's only 10:30, boss.
10:30? Oh, my goodness, tune in the radio, Rochester. Tune it in.
What's the matter?
It's time for that program. Tune in the radio.
Oh, yes. Yeah, Sally Sutton.
I don't want to miss today's episode.
Here's the station, boss.
Thank heaven.
And so, chin up, but with tear-dimmed eyes, Sally Sutton has given up hope of a reconciliation with her husband, Paul, and decided on the most drastic of all steps, a divorce.
No, her husband has been playing around, Rochester. That's all she can do.
Hasn't she got a razor?
No. Now listen.
As we fade in on the Sutton cottage, a cottage that was once a happy American home, we find Sally in conference with her friend and advisor, old Judge Hooper. Sally is speaking.
I can't go on, Judge Hooper. I can't go on like this. It's too much.
There now, Sally.
What? I've given Paul the best years of my life.
Yes, Sally, honey. And I have to admire the way you've gone through all this. Chin up, but with tear-dimmed eyes.
You said it.
Tell me, old Judge Hooper, what shall I do about Paul?
You might as well face it, Sally, honey. Paul's a drinking man. And if there's one thing I can't stand, it's a drinking man.
Well, what's that?
I think the old judge is loaded.
Oh, he couldn't be.
And your advice, Judge?
You just got to get a divorce, Sally, honey.
Open up, quick.
Oh, my goodness. Sally's house is on fire.
That's us, boss. The chili sauce just boiled over.
Well, shut off the gas and stir it.
Come in. Why, it's old Doc Thompson.
Hello, Sally. Hello, old Judge Hooper.
Hello, old Doc, honey.
He calls everybody honey.
I've got bad news for you, Sally. It's about your husband, Paul.
Paul? What about Paul?
The emergency hospital called just now and told me...
Yes?
That your husband...
Yes.
That your husband, Paul...
Yes. There goes that darn radio again. Quick, Rochester, fix it.
Fix it?
Yes, hit it, kick it, shake it.
That's the way you fix an alarm clock.
Oh, let me do it. Of all times for this thing to go haywire, I want to know what happened to Paul. Oh, hello, Mary.
Hello, Jack. You ready to take me shopping?
I can't take you now, Mary. Paul's in the emergency hospital.
Paul Whiteman?
No, Paul Sutton. The darn radio went on the blink.
Right in the middle of the heartaches of Sally Sutton. Fix it, boss.
There, good. Good, it's working again. Quiet now. Quiet, Rochester.
And so, don't forget to tune in tomorrow morning, folks, for another installment in the heartaches of Sally Sutton.
Well, I'll be...
Till then, this is Truman Clapsaddle. Saying au revoir.
Wait a minute, what happened to Paul?
Oh, shut up.
Well, I'll just have to wait until tomorrow morning, I guess. Let's get back to our canning, Rochester.
What is that stuff, Jack?
Homemade chili sauce. Come on, Rochester, let's start pouring it in the bottles. You hold the funnel.
Oh, fine. Chili sauce and bromo seltzer bottles.
Well, I had a lot of them around. You know how I worry. Now, come on, Rochester. Let's get this stuff all bottled. I got spurs that jingle, jangle, jingle.
That jingle,
as I go
jingle.
riding merrily
As I go
along.
riding merrily
And they sing, oh, ain't you glad
And they
you
say, oh, ain't you
And that
glad
song
you
ain't...
Now, ladies and gentlemen, let us continue with our story of what happened when the two cadets from Santa Ana visited Jack's home. As you remember, Jack, Mary, and Rochester were bottling chili sauce in the kitchen.
As I go riding merrily. There, that's that. Now, how many bottles did we get out of this batch, Rochester?
3 dozen, not counting the 2 that blew up.
Blew up? I didn't hear any of them blow up.
Look for yourself, boss. That ain't a sunset on the ceiling.
Well, wipe it off. Come on, Mary, I'll take you shopping. The car's out in the driveway.
Okay.
And incidentally, Mary, this will be your last ride in the Maxwell. I'm turning it in next week to the junk salvage drive.
Do you think they'll take it?
Yeah. Come on, grab a few of these bottles. I got a rush order from the farmer's market.
I am not walking through Beverly Hills with my arms full of chili sauce.
Oh, all right, I'll take it. There.
Uh-oh, here comes that crazy boarder of ours, boss.
He's not crazy. Well, hello, Mr. Billingsley.
Hello, Mr. Benny. Taking some of your blood to the Red Cross,
No, Mr. Billingsley. This is chili sauce. By the way, would you like to go to the farmer's market with us?
No, thank you. I must go out to my laboratory and work on my new parachute idea.
What's that?
I'm putting ripcords on mushrooms.
Mushrooms for ripcord? For parachutes? My goodness. My goodness, isn't that dangerous?
Oh, yes. You might get a toadstool. Well, goodbye, Mr. Benny.
Goodbye.
By Jove, you certainly are.
Now it's parachute. That Mr. Billingsley certainly is a genius when it comes to inventing things.
Oh, yeah? How about that wristwatch he made for me?
What's the matter with that watch?
Every time I go to wind it, the hands get fresh with me.
Oh, stop dreaming things up, will you? See who's at the door, Rochester.
Okay, Mother Bennett.
That's only for the labels. Now see who's at the door.
Okay.
That Rochester is so lazy today.
Well, naturally, it's Thursday, his day off.
Not so loud. I didn't tear Wednesday off the calendar. Well, look who's here, Phil Harris.
And he's got his baby with him. Hello, Phil.
Hello, Jackson, Mary. You know, I had the kid out for a ride on my motorcycle, so I thought I'd drop in.
What? You brought a 5-month-old baby all the way from Encino on a motorcycle?
We only made one stop, Jackson. Changed oil and diapers.
That kid's probably scared to death.
Ah, Jackson, she loved it.
Oh, what a baby. Always laughing.
Yeah. You know, Phil, I think she's going to have curly hair just like you.
Sure, them things are liable to be hereditary.
Hereditary?
He means it runs in the family.
I know what he means. Oh, there she goes giggling again.
Oh, let me hold the baby, Phil.
No, Mary, just let her sit on the table here and play with these bottles.
Careful now, darling. Careful now, sweetheart. Make a note of that, Rochester. 1 bottle of chili sauce to Mr. Harris, 15 cents. Sorry, Phil.
Wait a minute now. I ain't responsible for nothing my kid does. This baby's a minor.
I don't care if she's John L. Lewis. You're paying for that. Now, come on, fork over. Uh-oh.
Now see what you did. You made the baby cry.
Now, baby. Here's another bottle of chili sauce to play with. Your daddy can afford it. Here, take the bottle. There now.
Look out, Jack. Duck!
Ooh.
Holy smoke, she knocked him out.
Quick, Rochester, get some water. Mr. Benny's unconscious.
Let him lay there. He ain't been getting much sleep lately.
Oh, he's coming to. Jack, speak to me.
Oh, where am I?
Sorry, Jackson, but my baby conked you with a bottle.
Did the bottle break?
Absolutely not.
No sale, Jack.
Oh, my head. Listen, Phil. It's all right for you and your baby to come over and pay me a friendly visit. But when that kid of yours deliberately picks up a bottle, of Mother Benny's old-fashioned homemade chili sauce and cocks her old Uncle Jack on the head with it, that's going A-B-C-D-E-F-G-H. I got a gal in Kalamazoo. I don't want to boast, but I know she's the toast of Kalamazoo. Years have gone by, my, how she grew. But I liked her looks when I carried her books in Kalamazoo. I'm going to send a wire, hopping on a flyer, leaving today. Am I dreaming? I can hear screaming, hiya, Mr. Jackson, everything's okay. A-L-A-M-A-Z-O-O. What a gal, she's some pepperoo. I'll make my bid for that freckle-faced kid I'm hurrying through. I'm going to Michigan to see the sweetest gal in Kalamazoo. To send a wire, hopping on a flyer, leaving today. Am I dreaming? I can hear screaming, hiya, Jackson, everything's okay. A-L-A-M-A-Z-O-O. What a gal, she's some pepperoo. I'll make my bid for that freckle-faced kid I'm hurrying to. I'm going to Michigan to see the sweetest gal in Kalamazoo. Kalamazoo.
That was I Got a Gal in Kalamazoo, played by Phil Harris and the orchestra. And speaking of Kalamazoo, ladies, whether you're a gal in Kalamazoo or Kankakoo,
oh, Brother Roo,
why not serve your husband a bang-up breakfast treat? Just try him on Grapes Nuts Flakes.
There you go again. Don, that's great.
And now let us continue with our story of what happened when the two cadets from Santa Ana visited Jack in Beverly Hills. As we left Jack, he had been knocked cold by a tap from a tiny clock.
Look at that lump on my head. I'm glad Phil took the baby home. Believe me, the next time that kid starts after me, I'm going to be set. I'm going to be ready.
Oh, put your fist down, killer.
Well, I'm mad. Come on, let's take these bottles over to the market. You take the bottles out, Rochester. I'll answer the door. Coming. I got spurs that jingle, jangle, jingle. Oh, my head. As I go riding. Well, a couple of soldiers. Hello, fellas.
Hello. Say, we're cadets from Santa Ana, and we're visiting the movie stars' homes.
You are?
Yeah. Can you tell us where Miss Barbara Stanwyck lives?
Barbara Stanwyck?
Uh-huh.
Yes. She lives about 4 blocks down the street. But as long as you're visiting some of the big movie stars, this happens to be Jack Benny's house. I'm Benny.
Oh, is your son at home?
No, look, I'm Jack Benny. Me. Hello again. I mean, Great Nuts Flakes again. This is Jack Benny. Come on in, boys.
Say, what do you got that dress on for?
Oh, this is an apron. I've been making chili sauce. Come on in.
Oh, well, thanks just the same, but we're especially anxious to meet Barbara Stanwyck.
Oh, yes. Babs. She's a swell girl.
Babs? Who's Babs?
That's Barbara Stanwyck. You see, all her close friends call her Babs. I'll tell you what, fellas, it's only a short way. I'll walk you over there.
Come on, Jack, let's go shopping.
Oh, Mary, come here a minute. I want you fellas to meet Mary Livingston. She's a stooge on my program.
What was that?
Don't sneak up on me. Mary, these boys are cadets from Santa Ana.
Oh, hello, fellas.
Gee, Mary Livingston. Wow, a woman.
Didn't know we had so many people in our front yard. Say, Mary, I promised to take the boys over to Bab's house. Would you like to come along?
Who's Bab?
Bab Stanwyck, Barbara. Come on, fellas, let's go. Well, here we are. I hope Babs is home. I got spurs that jingle, jangle, jingle. Are you excited, boys?
Oh, we sure are.
Good afternoon.
I'm Jack Benny. These two cadets would like to meet Miss Stanwyck. Come on, fellas, let's go in.
Just a moment, please. Miss Stanwyck is taking a bath.
Oh, then I'll wait.
You certainly will.
Say, you'll love Babs, fellas. She's my favorite, too.
Who's that at the door down there?
Down there is the butler's name. It's me, Jack Benny. Hello, Barbara.
Oh, hello, Jack.
A lot of people in her house, too. Say, Barbara, can you come down a minute? I've got something I want to see you about.
Jack, I told you yesterday, I've got enough chili sauce to last me 6 years.
Oh, it's not about chili sauce. I got a couple of cadets from Santa Ana with me. They want to meet you.
Oh, then I'll be right down.
Won't you step in and wait, folks?
Thank you.
By Jove, you certainly are.
He must be a friend of Mr. Billingsley's. Huh? Oh, here's Barbara now.
Hello, Mary. How are you, fellas?
Hello, Barbara.
Gee, glad to meet you, Miss Stanwyck.
We've sure been looking forward to this.
Hiya, Barbara.
Good heavens, Jack. What are you doing in that apron?
Oh, Mary, why didn't you remind me to take off this apron?
I didn't know if you had any pants on.
I've got pants on, but you can't see them. That Rochester got so patriotic, he cut my cuffs way up to the knees. Sit down, fellas.
Yes, please do.
You know, the boys were over at my house, but they were a little impatient. They were just dying to meet Babs.
Babs? Who's that?
You, all your close friends call you Babs.
Well, I'll be darned. Oh, by the way, would you boys care for a sandwich or something?
Oh, no, thank you, Miss Stanwyck. Just looking at you is enough.
Well, how about your buddy? Would you like a sandwich?
I'm looking at Miss Livingston.
Well, say, I'm hungry, Barbara. I can stand a sandwich.
Well, why don't you go out in the kitchen and make one? You're all dressed for it.
Good. Well, never mind. I'll just have some of these walnuts here. May I?
Go right ahead if I'm not too late.
Thanks.
So you boys are cadets from Santa Ana, huh?
Mm-hmm. My name is Bill Orr, and I'm going to be a bombardier. My buddy here, Peter Hayes, he's studying to be a navigator.
Well, that's wonderful. A bombardier and a navigator.
I'd like to be a pilot. That's for me. Oh, gee, these nuts are good.
Now, wait a minute, Jack.
Well, how many did I eat?
I don't mean that. I mean that the bombardier and the navigator are just as important as the pilot. Their jobs are equally as interesting and require just as much training.
All right. I can't be a pilot anyway. I'm over 26. Or did they raise the age limit to 36?
Till they put wings on rocking chairs, you don't have to worry.
I don't know about that. Boy, these are the best walnuts.
Gee, Miss Stanwyck, you sure got a beautiful home here.
Well, I'm certainly happy you dropped in. Oh, by the way, where are you boys from?
Oh, I'm from Scranton, Pennsylvania. I've only been out here about 2 months.
Scranton, Pennsylvania. And where are you from?
I'm from St. Joe, Missouri.
St. Joe, they love me there. Well, fellas, you've seen Babs. Come back to my house. I'll call up some girls, and the three of us will step out.
Now, wait a minute, Jack. The boys will have a better time right here. Besides, I've seen those girls you go out with.
Did you ever get a load of that one that floats around Beverly Hills on a broomstick?
Quiet.
Oh, I know. Say, Mary, why don't you and I take the boys to the Brown Derby? There's usually a lot of picture people there.
Oh, boy, the Brown Derby?
Now, we can't go to the Brown Derby. They don't use my chili sauce.
Oh, you and your chili sauce. I've tried it, and it's awful.
Oh, yeah? Have you ever tried it on lobster?
Yes, and the lobster thumbed his feelers at me.
Well, naturally, a lobster has to be boiled.
Boiled or sober. He didn't like it.
Well, then I guess I better tear up that testimonial I signed your name to. Say, I've got an idea. Why can't we all go over to Bob Murphy?
Now, look, Jack, you're not coming with us. Barbara and I are going to have lunch with the two boys alone.
Yes, and later this evening we'll go dancing at the Macambo.
I can't go dancing.
Nobody asked you to go.
Oh, they didn't, eh? Well, let me tell you something. These boys came all the way to Beverly Hills to see me, and I'm going along.
If you do, you'll pay the check.
We'll see about that, sister. Let me tell you something else, you Brooklyn bombshell. When it comes... Let me tell you something else. When it comes to showing these cadets a good time, I know the hot spots, too. I didn't get these bags under my eyes for nothing.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what happened when two cadets from Santa Ana came to visit Barbara Stanwyck at her home in Beverly Hills.
They came to visit me, Playfill. Gee, these nuts are good.
You know, friends, when you stop to think of it, manpower and woman power are really the result of food power. That's why it's so very important for every man and woman in America to eat nourishing food in this war emergency, especially the vital protective foods, foods such as whole grain cereals. And that's why it's important to see the Grape Nuts Flakes appear regularly at your breakfast table. For delicious toasty brown Grape Nuts Flakes are a whole grain cereal. This means that Grape Nuts Flakes supply important whole grain food values, including 3 essential nutritive elements, iron, niacin, and vitamin B1. In fact, Grape Nuts Flakes contain more B1 than you'll find in the whole grain itself. So you see, you get a bowl full of real wartime nourishment when you sit down to a breakfast including malty, rich, sweet as a nut Grape Nuts Flakes. So for real breakfast enjoyment, plus real nourishment to start off the day, treat your family tomorrow morning to Grape Nuts Flakes.
That was the last number in the second program of the new Grape Nuts Flakes program. Grape Nuts Flakes. And we're with you at the same time next Sunday. I want to thank Barbara Stanwyck for coming over here to Santa Ana with us. Thanks, Barbara.
Oh, you can call me Babs.
Well, you see, folks, and she loves my chili sauce, too. Good night, everybody.
The Jack Benny program is written by Bill Maher and Eddie Beloy. Peter Lind Hayes and Bill Orr, who appeared on our program, are cadets here at Santa Ana. The presentation of the broadcast from the Army Air Base at Santa Ana is for the enjoyment of the officers and personnel and does not constitute an endorsement of our product by the War Department.
Tenderleaf brand tea balls outsell every other kind. They serve so much better because they're superior in every way. They contain finer tea, a blend of the small top tea leaves, the kind you get in Tenderleaf brand tea, put up in packages, too. Either way, you get more delicious tea because the young, tender choice leaves are immeasurably better than the coarse old ones for tempting fragrance and satisfying flavor. And then, too, improved Tenderleaf brand tea balls are made with tasteless filter paper. That's a special paper that filters your tea as you're making it. Only the tea goodness can pass through its meshes into your cup. Enjoy it for breakfast these spring days and with other meals, too. Next time and every time, ask your grocer for Tenderleaf brand tea in packages or in Tenderleaf brand tea balls, largest selling tea balls in America.
Our next popular broadcast began in August of 1949 on NBC Radio and ran until November of 1953. Set in the Midwest, it starred Robert Young as General Insurance Agent Jim Anderson and portrayed an idealized vision of middle-class American life of the era. It was created by writer Ed James. While the show is often regarded as an example of conservative nature of the American family life in the 1950s, it's also cited as to be slightly rosy portrayal as well. We proudly present to you Father Knows Best on HOJO Radio.
Mother, is Maxwell House the best coffee in the whole world?
Well, your father says so, and your father knows best.
Yes, it's Father Knows Best, transcribed in Hollywood, starring Robert Young as father. A half-hour visit with your neighbors, the Andersons. Brought to you by America's favorite coffee, Maxwell House. The coffee that's always good to the last drop. This, unfortunately, is the time of year when most young people become arsonists at heart. As they sleep, the gentlest smiles creep softly across their gay young faces. Smiles caused by a joyous vision, a glorious dream of the schoolhouse burning down. Yes, this is the time of year when the young ones return to their scholastic grind. And in Springfield, in the white frame house on Maple Street, the morning is a hectic one indeed, like this.
Jim?
Who's in there?
Jim, your coffee's ready. Do you want it now?
I want to get into the bathroom. I have to shave. Betty?
I'm in here, Father.
Well, who's in the bathroom?
I think it's Bud.
Bud. Bud!
Did you want something, Dad?
What are you doing in there?
I'm taking a shower.
Well, why did you lock the door?
I don't have any clothes on.
Bud.
Yes, Dad?
Hurry up.
Okay, Dad. I'll be right out. I dream of a genie with a light, a green hat.
He doesn't have any clothes on. Of course, everybody else takes a shower in a raccoon coat. I don't know what's gotten into that boy. Acts more like his mother's side of the family every day.
Jim, what was all that banging up there?
Oh, the same old thing. Honey, isn't there anything we can do about a schedule for the bathroom? It gets worse every morning.
I know, dear, but after all, this is a special morning. It's the first day of school, and the children are all anxious to look their best.
But I have to be in Plainfield at 9 o'clock. It's a very important deal. I told everybody last night.
Of course, dear, I know just how you feel. And you'll feel a lot better after you've had your coffee. I'll have it ready in just a minute.
You said it was ready.
It was ready, but when you didn't come down...
Look, I'd better go back upstairs and stand in line.
Jim, it will only take me a second to pour you another cup of coffee.
Well, okay. And anybody who thinks he can live in a house with one bathroom and 3 kids
Dad.
ought to have his head examined. What is it, Bud?
I'm out.
Well, it's about time. Don't let anybody else in till I get up there.
Okay.
Jim, where are you going?
I'm going to shave.
But I poured your coffee.
Sorry, honey, you'll just have to pour it back. The bathroom's clear. I may not have a chance like this for another 100 years. Hold the fort, Bud. I'm on my way.
Daddy, Bud says I can't go into the bathroom.
That's right. Thank you, Bud.
Okay, then.
But I have to take a shower and I have to go to school. And how can I take a shower if nobody will let me get into the bathroom?
Kathy, Daddy has to go to Plainfield. That's 28 miles away. And he has to be there at 9 o'clock.
Why?
Because I want to sell Mr. Butler some insurance. So we can get some money. So we can eat. Is that clear?
I don't know. I just want to take a shower.
Kathy, I have to shave, and I can't shave while you're taking a shower.
Why?
Because you get the mirror all steamed up. Because I want to get to Plainfield wearing both ears. And don't say why.
Why?
Why don't you go do your homework or something?
Oh, I don't have any homework. School hasn't even started yet.
Well, make some up. Bud! What happened to my shaving cream?
You want me, Dad?
No, I want my shaving cream. Where is it?
Maybe there isn't any.
I could have figured that out for myself, except that I just bought a whole tube of it. Margaret?
What shaving cream, dear?
The shaving cream I bought last night.
You didn't buy any shaving cream last night.
I most certainly did. Didn't I?
No, dear, you didn't.
Well, I should have. Bud?
Yes, Dad?
Are you dressed?
I'm tying my shoe.
Well, run down to the drugstore and get me some shaving cream like a good fellow, will you?
You bet. As soon as I finish my breakfast.
Get it for me now. You can have your breakfast later.
Holy cow, Dad. I haven't eaten since last night.
Well, another 5 minutes won't make any difference. Use the car and hurry back, please.
Okay.
What in the... Who's in there? Kathy, come out of that bathroom this instant.
I'm not in the bathroom, Daddy.
Well, who is?
I don't know.
Betty? Betty!
Did you want something, Father?
What are you doing in there?
I'm taking a shower.
Well, open the door.
Father!
Jim, you can't shave until Bud comes back anyway.
That's got nothing to do with it. I was in the bathroom first. She had no right to sneak in when my back was
Will
turned.
you please stop acting like an overgrown baby? You can have your coffee while Betty's taking her shower.
Oh, why did they have to open the schools today? 365 days in the year, and they have to pick a day when I have an appointment in Plainfield.
Dad.
There's no system in this town, that's what. They just run things to suit themselves.
Dad, the car isn't in the garage.
It what?
It isn't in the garage.
Oh, that's fine. That's just great. I'm not having enough trouble. Now somebody's stolen the car.
Jim, let's not get all upset. Maybe you didn't put the car in the garage last night.
I didn't use the car last night. I came home with Ed Davis, remember? Betty had the car all afternoon. Betty!
Yes, Father.
Where did you leave the car?
Just a minute. I'll be right out.
Bud, go downstairs and call the police.
No, Bud, wait. There must be a logical explanation to this whole thing.
Of course there's a logical explanation. Somebody stole the car.
Is anything wrong, Father?
Oh, no. Everything's just fine. Somebody stole the car, that's all.
They did? Who?
How do I know who? Where did you leave it?
In front of your office. That's what you told me to do, isn't it?
I told you to leave it in front of the office?
That's right. You said if I got through early to leave it in front of your office and come home on the bus. Then you wouldn't have to use the bus during the rush hour.
But I came home with Ed Davis.
Well, I came home on the bus.
You know, Betty, you're going to be a great comfort to me in my old age, if I live that long.
Father, I just did what you told me to.
Why didn't you tell me you left the car downtown?
You didn't ask me.
Ye gods. 17 years old, and she can't tell you anything unless you ask her.
I'll be right back.
Bud, where are you going?
It's okay, Dad. I'll use my bicycle.
No, Bud, come back here, Bud!
He's gone, dear.
I don't know. The only time that boy ever hurries is when you want him to stand still.
Well, dear, you told him to go to the drugstore.
I wanted him to go down for the car. How can I possibly get to Plainfield without a car?
You can use the bus.
Nobody asked you.
But you just said I was 17 years old
Never
and I...
mind what I just said. What's that?
What's what, dear?
That's a car. Is it in our driveway?
No, that's the Davises. I guess Ed's going to work.
Ed, that's it. Betty, hurry up and get dressed.
Well, what for?
Never mind what for. Just get dressed.
Jumping creepers.
Ed! Say, Ed!
Hiya, Jim. What's up?
Ed, I want you to do me a favor, a big favor. Will you wait until Betty gets dressed and take her down to my office?
Sure, I guess so.
She'll only be a minute.
Okay, the color make it snappy.
Thanks, Ed. You're a pal. Well, that'll take care of that. Betty.
What did Ed say, dear?
He's waiting for Betty, and he'll take her downtown, and she can bring the car back.
There, you see? There was no need to get upset about the whole thing in the first place.
Well, that's a matter of opinion. Betty, what are you doing?
I'm getting dressed.
Okay, look, Ed Davis is waiting to take you downtown.
Oh, he doesn't have to do that, Father. Janie Liggett's going to pick me up.
He's going to take you downtown so you can get our car and bring it back here.
But I can't, Father. I'll miss my ride to school.
I'll take you to school.
But Janie Liggett...
I don't care about Janie Liggett. This is more important.
Well, if it's so important, why don't you go downtown with Mr. Davis?
I'll tell you why. In the first place, I haven't shaved. In the second place, I haven't had my shower. And in the third place, I told you to go down in the first place. Now, hurry up and get dressed.
Oh, poo.
And don't take all day about it.
Double poo.
What was that?
I said yes, Father.
Person gets you into a mess like this, the least they can do is get you out. If she'd used her head, the car wouldn't have been left downtown in the first place. First time in her whole life she ever got through with it early.
Jim, why don't you come downstairs with me and have your breakfast? You can save a little time that way.
No, I got to shave and...
You can't shave until Bud gets back with the shaving cream.
Well, I can take a shower and brush my teeth and... Oh, no.
What is it, dear?
Who's in there? Who's in the bathroom?
Did you want something, Daddy?
That's a real cup of coffee. Nice words to hear at your table, aren't they? And tomorrow you can hear 'em from the world's greatest coffee expert. Yes, ma'am, because that #1 expert is your husband. Of course, we think we stand pretty high as experts. Our Maxwell House coffee is America's favorite brand. But we know the final judge is that husband of yours. And tomorrow, if you'll pour him a cup of Maxwell House, you'll hear him say, "Now that's real coffee." We're so sure of that, we'll give you your money back if he doesn't. You see, we're mighty proud of that famous good to the last drop flavor. And we know no other coffee tastes like Maxwell House, because no other coffee's made like Maxwell House. Get a pound tomorrow. Serve it to your husband. If he doesn't say it's the best coffee he ever tasted, why, just send us the can, an unused portion, and we'll gladly refund the price you paid. Our address is right on the front of that familiar blue tin. Tomorrow, start serving the world's greatest coffee expert, Maxwell House Coffee. Always good to the last drop.
Cleanliness is next to godliness. That's what they say. But there are times when it can be overdone. It's a cup of coffee later in the white frame house on Maple Street, and the Andersons' bathroom is still giving a pretty fair imitation of the Grand Central Station. Father, unshowered and unshorn, is low man on the totem pole and last man into the bathroom, as usual, like this.
They ought to pass an ordinance, that's what.
What was that, dear?
I said there ought to be a law. No house can be built without 10 bathrooms.
Oh, Jim.
Well, look at the time. 8:15, and I haven't even started to shave.
It won't take long once Bud gets back. How about another cup of coffee?
Well, okay.
There you are.
Thank you. Even if Betty gets back with the car by 8:30, I won't be able to make it.
Of course you will.
Oh, it's 28 miles to Plainfield, and my appointment's for 9 o'clock.
Jim, I'm sure if you explain to Mr. Butler, he'll understand.
Oh, sure. I'm sorry I'm late, Mr. Butler, but one of my children left the car downtown, and the others wouldn't let me get into the bathroom. He'll love that.
Hey, Dad.
Well, it's about time. We're in here, Bud.
Boy, did I ever have a time. You know what happened?
Never mind what happened. Where's the shaving cream?
Right here. Gosh, it was awful. You know what happened?
All I want is the shaving cream. What took you so long?
Well, that's what I'm trying to tell you. You know what happened? Mr. Crandall wasn't open yet, and I had to find a drugstore that stayed open all night. And then when I found it, I didn't have enough money for the large economy size, and then he couldn't find the small uneconomy size. And he tried to sell me that smelly kind that you don't like. But I said, oh, no. And he said...
Bud? Give it to me.
What?
The shaving cream. Let me have it.
Oh. It was 35 cents, Dad.
I know how much it was. Hand it over.
Well, my allowance is only $1.25, and I spent 60 cents last night, and There's a whole week to go.
Bud, will you let go of the shaving cream?
I know you don't mean to forget things like that, Dad, but last year when I laid out 15 cents for the pipe cleaners...
I paid you for the pipe cleaners.
No, you didn't, Dad.
As a matter of fact, I think I paid you twice.
Well, anyway, it was only 15 cents, but this is 35 cents.
Bud, let go.
That's practically half a dollar.
I said let go.
And I only get $1.25.
Bud, you're squashing it.
So why don't you just give me the 35 cents?
Because I don't carry money in my pajamas, that's why. Now let go.
Bud, I'll give you the 35 cents.
You will?
Yes.
Oh. Well, here you are, Dad.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh, that's okay, Dad. I was glad to help.
Yes, I can see that.
All right, Bud, sit down and I'll get your breakfast.
Oh, gosh, you can understand how I feel, can't you, Mom?
Yes, dear.
It isn't as if I didn't trust him, but look what happened when I bought the pipe cleaner.
Pipe cleaners. My own son. You think I was trying to cheat him out of 35 cents? Where did he get the 35 cents in the first place? And look at it. If that isn't the messiest looking tube of shaving cream, got it all squeezed out of shape. Spend your whole life trying to make things easy for your family. Ye gods. Kathy! Kathy! Aren't you out of there yet?
I'm brushing my teeth.
What?
I'm brushing my teeth.
You've been in there long enough to grow new ones. Now come on out.
But I have to brush my teeth.
You can brush them later. Open the door.
Daddy, I have to brush my teeth. If I don't, I'll have to do it afterwards, and then I'll be late for school.
I'll take you to school. Just let me get in there.
I wasn't late for school even once last year. And this year, if I'm late the very first day...
You won't be late, Kathy, I promise you. Now, please, let me get through.
Gee whiz. Just because I'm the littlest one in the family, everybody thinks I don't have any feelings. And I do. I've got as many feelings as anybody.
Fine, I'll tell him when he comes in.
You'll tell who?
What?
Who will you tell when he comes in?
When who comes in?
I don't know.
Well, stop talking about people you don't know. May I please shave?
He said, I'll tell him when he comes in. And I said, who? And he said,
Jim!
Ye gods, now what? What is it, Margaret?
Betty's on the phone.
Well, tell her to hurry up.
She wants to talk to you.
Oh, my aching back. I'll be right down, Margaret. Kathy, don't ever get married. And if you do get married, don't have any children. And if you do have any children, don't try to shave. Grow a beard.
Daddy, is it all right if I brush my teeth now?
No, stay out of the bathroom.
Gee whiz.
Betty, why aren't you back here?
Is that you, Father?
Of course not. This is Admiral Byrd, and I'm speaking from the South Pole. Where are you?
I'm downtown.
That's nice. Are you having a good time?
Father, the car's been stolen.
Well, stop fooling around down there and... It what?
It isn't where I left it. There's another car there, and the man at the filling station said he saw
Betty.
somebody fiddling around with it this morning.
Betty.
And I guess they found the place under the mat where we hide the keys. because-
Betty.
Yes, Father?
Go over to the police headquarters. Give them a full description of the car. Make, model, color, license number. Have you got that?
I guess so.
Tell them I'll be in later in the morning to make a full insurance report. Is that clear?
Well, there's only one thing I don't understand.
Yes.
What am I supposed to do about my breakfast?
Betty,
Yes, Father?
eat it.
Oh? Okay.
And Betty,
Don't worry, Father. I'll take care of everything.
Good.
Right after breakfast.
Betty! Betty! Oh, fine. It's a conspiracy, that's what it is. The whole thing is a plot to keep me from getting to Plainfield. Well, that's fine. That's just great.
What did Betty want, dear? Is anything wrong?
No, everything's wonderful. This time somebody really stole the car, that's all.
Oh, Jim.
I'm up to my neck in appointments, the busiest time of the whole year. A thing like this has to happen to me. Sure, naturally, they'd have to be busy. They'll probably be busy all day.
Who, dear?
George Phillips. If I can borrow his car, I can still get to Plainfield in time. But...
Jim, I wouldn't count on that. George may need the car himself.
Why don't you just call Mr. Butler?
Because it took me 2 months to set up this appointment, and I don't intend to lose it. And if George Phillips can't do a little thing like lend me his car, well, it's just too bad, that's all.
All right, dear. I suppose you know best.
Bud!
You want me, Dad?
Now, whatever gave you that idea?
You said Bud.
And you figured the rest of it out all by yourself. Isn't that wonderful?
Now, what did I do?
Go across the street and ask Mr. Phillips if I can use his car.
What for?
I've taken a contract to fill in the Grand Canyon, and I want to use the Phillips car for a dump truck.
What?
Oh, stop asking so many silly questions and do as you're told.
But all I said was...
Bud, do as your father tells you.
Holy cow. Ask a perfectly simple question and everybody jumps down your neck. Get a bunch of double talk about filling in the Grand Canyon.
Jim, I don't think you were very nice to Bud.
Well, I haven't got time to be nice. I got to get a car. I've got to get to Plainfield. Margaret.
Yes, dear.
I'm going upstairs to shave. Will you call Hector Smith and ask if I can borrow his car? I'll have it back at 12 o'clock at the latest.
All right.
And explain that it's an emergency. Tell him it's practically a matter of life and death.
Yes, dear, I'll tell him.
Oh, I've never seen a morning like this in my whole life. Everything has to go wrong. I don't even know why I bothered to get out of bed.
Hello, Elizabeth?
Oh, no. Kathy, are you in there again?
I'll be right out, Daddy.
I told you not to go back in, didn't I?
But you were on the phone and I had to wash my knees.
You just took a shower. Everybody in the world's been taking a shower.
I forgot to scrub my knees, and I couldn't go to school the very first day if I didn't scrub my knees, could I?
All right, Kathy, just let me in there.
Don't they look better now, Daddy?
They're gorgeous. Now, may I please get into the bathroom?
Jim?
Oh. What is it, dear?
Elizabeth says she's awfully sorry, but Hector ran into the back of a truck and their car won't be out of the garage until Friday.
That's great. Good old Hector. Good old reliable Hector.
Do you want me to call the Hathaways? They have an extra little car.
Dad.
What did they say, Bud?
Mr. Phillips had to go downtown early, and he took the car with him.
Oh, fine.
And Mrs. Phillips says she doesn't think Mr. Phillips would let you take it to the Grand Canyon anyway on account of one of the windshield wipers doesn't.
Well, that makes as much sense as anything else that's happened today.
Daddy, you said you were going to take me to school.
Kathy, this is no time to annoy your father.
But he said...
It's all right, Margaret. I don't care. The way things have been going this morning, my mind is absolutely numb anyway.
Dad.
2 months. 2 whole months getting Butler lined up for the kill, and then a thing like this has to happen.
Dad.
Fine bunch of friends we have. The windshield wiper doesn't work. Hector ran into the back of a truck.
Dad.
Jim, I'm sure he didn't do it intentionally.
No, but if he wanted to borrow a car, you can bet your bottom dollar there'd be nothing the matter with ours.
Dad.
But don't you ever keep still?
I want to ask you something.
Well, go ahead. Don't just stand there.
Why don't you use our car?
But...
Just a minute, Margaret. I'll be glad to tell him. It seems, Bud, that you have a sister who hasn't sense enough to come in out of the rain.
I didn't do anything.
She left the car downtown with the keys under the mat.
Oh, that one.
And as a result, we don't have a car.
Sure we do.
Bud, the car has been stolen.
No, it hasn't, Dad. It's out in front of the house. I went downtown and got it.
Oh, no!
So the car has been sitting right out in front of the house. Seems like when you want something, it pays to look for it where it ought to be. Certainly that's true in buying coffee. You want the most for your money, the most in flavor and enjoyment. And as the world's greatest coffee expert will tell you, you'll find it right in the coffee famous for flavor above all others, our Maxwell House coffee. Sure, just pour a cup of Maxwell House for that husband of yours. He's the #1 expert. And when he says, that's my kind of coffee, you'll know Maxwell House is your kind of coffee, too. Your best coffee buy. Find out tomorrow. Start serving your husband Maxwell House. And count how many truly good cups of coffee you get from just one of those familiar blue tins. We think you'll find it gives you the most for your money. So tomorrow, see how much the world's greatest coffee expert enjoys Maxwell House coffee. Always good to the last drop.
A mere 15 minutes have gone by, but things in Springfield are pretty much under control, so far as Jim Anderson is concerned, at any rate. With his hands firmly on the steering wheel of his car, only 2 things remain between Father and his business appointment. Kathy's delivery to school and a 28-mile drive to Plainfield. He'll be a little late, but he isn't too worried. As a matter of fact, he isn't worried at all, like this.
Daddy,
Yes, Kathy.
why does everybody have to go to school? Is it that important?
Of course it's important. It's practically the most important thing in your whole life.
Why?
Because, Kathy, if you don't go to school, you don't learn anything. And if you don't learn anything, you aren't prepared for the problems you meet later in life.
What kind of problems?
Oh, all kinds of problems. Like how to answer the questions your children keep throwing at you. Things like that. It's very important.
Daddy,
Now what?
why is everybody so worried about the schools in Springfield?
Well, they aren't worried, Kathy. Not if they're sound, public-spirited citizens. They realize that worrying doesn't do any good. It's action that counts. They know that better schools make better communities, and good citizens everywhere are helping to make our school system the finest in the world. And that's pretty hard to do.
Why?
Well, it's on account of the last war, honey. During the war, we couldn't build enough schools or train enough teachers. So now we have overcrowded classrooms and a shortage of qualified instructors for the lower grades.
What's that?
Teachers.
Oh.
Yes, sir. If more young men and women would train to teach in the elementary schools, they'd find a wonderful career ahead of them. And they'd be helping to build a better country for all of us at the same time.
They would?
They certainly would.
Well, then I changed my mind. When I grow up, I'm going to be a teacher. And somebody else can be a lady wrestler.
That's a very good idea. Ye gods, now what did I do?
He wants you to pull over to the curb.
I know what he wants. I wasn't going too fast, was I?
I don't know.
I was going 25 miles an hour. Remember that.
All right, Daddy.
And the light was green, wasn't it?
Yes, Daddy.
It certainly was. Hello, officer. Anything I can do for you?
There may be 1 or 2 little things. May I see your driver's license, please?
Of course. Carry it right here in my wallet. And right here in the... Officer, I was in such a hurry this morning that I left my wallet on the dresser. But I can assure you that I've been driving in Springfield...
Could I see your registration certificate? Or would that happen to be at home on the piano?
Officer, I have to be in Plainfield as close to 9 o'clock as I can make it. And ever since I got up this morning...
Just follow me, if you don't mind.
But, officer, if I don't get to Follow you? Where?
We'll take a little trip down to the station house. And let's not try any tricks.
Look, this is my daughter, and she'll tell you...
We were going 25 miles an hour, and the light was green.
That may be so, little lady. It may be so. But I just got a call from headquarters, and you're riding in a stolen car.
Oh, no!
Life is swell when you keep well. And Post 40% Bran Flakes is the wonderful breakfast cereal that gives you 3 extra Keep Fit benefits. 1, bran to help prevent irregularity due to lack of bulk in the diet. 2, whole wheat values of these essential B vitamins, thiamine and niacin. 3, a good source of these important minerals, phosphorus and iron. All that and delicious flavor, too. Try Post 40% Bran Flakes, America's favorite Bran Flakes. Remember, life is swell when you keep well. Try Post 40% Bran Flakes, America's favorite Bran Flakes. Join us again next week when we'll be back with Father Knows Best, starring Robert Young as Jim Anderson, with Roy Bargy and the Maxwell House Orchestra, and yours truly, Bill Foreman. So until next Thursday, good night and good luck from the makers of Maxwell House, America's favorite brand of coffee. Always good to the last drop. Father Knows Best was transcribed in Hollywood and written by Ed James. Now stay tuned in for Dragnet, which follows immediately over most of these stations.
You'll like the delicious, meaty flavor of Spam, the way it satisfies husky appetite.
Stay tuned to HOJO Radio.
Mother, is Maxwell House the best coffee in the whole world?
Well, your father says so, and your father knows best.
Yes, it's Father Knows Best, transcribed in Hollywood, starring Robert Young as father. A half-hour visit with your neighbors, the Andersons, brought to you by Maxwell House, the coffee that's bought and enjoyed by more people than any other brand of coffee at any price. Maxwell House, always good to the last drop. When you get right down to it, life today can be pretty complicated. You can't simplify things the way Cervantes did when he wrote, "There's a time for some things and a time for all things, a time for great things and a time for small things." If you wrote a thing like that today, you know what they'd say? They'd say, "What kind of time? Daylight saving or standard?" See what I mean? Life has become very confusing. And in Springfield, in the white frame house on Maple Street, the Andersons will probably confuse it still further, like this.
I don't know what's gotten into me lately. I keep yawning all the time.
Yes, dear.
Guess I must be getting old.
Yes, dear.
Well, you don't have to agree with me. Margaret.
Oh, I'm sorry, dear. I guess I wasn't listening. I was just reading. Jim, you're not going to spread those maps all over the floor again.
Why not?
Because you disrupt the entire household. That's why not. And furthermore...
Dad.
Just a second, honey. What is it, Bud?
Is it all right if I wear your blue denim shirt?
No, it isn't all right. Use your own.
Good gosh.
What were you saying, dear?
I was saying, why can't you listen to a news broadcast like anyone else? You don't see other people spreading maps all over the floor.
For your information, my pet, General MacArthur would rather be caught dead than listen to a news broadcast without his maps.
Well, if it makes you and General MacArthur happy by...
Dad.
Oh, what is it, Bud?
It's in the wash.
What is?
My denim shirt. And the pants, too.
Well, then wear something else.
But I've got the denim pants on.
What denim pants?
Yours.
Bud.
Jim, he's going on a hayride, and I didn't want him to wear any of his good clothes, and I knew you wouldn't mind.
Bud.
Yes, Dad?
Take the denim shirt.
Thanks, Dad. You're a pal.
Oh. And Margaret.
Yes, dear.
In the future, please let me handle the trouser concession.
All right, dear.
Gotten so a man can't call his pants his own. Anytime I want to wear something, Bud has it on.
Jim, you've done nothing but yawn ever since you got home. Why don't you go to bed?
I'm going to bed right after the news broadcast. And I'd give $10 to be able to sleep until noon.
Well, tomorrow's Sunday. Why don't you?
Golf, 8 o'clock.
Oh, Jim.
Hi, Terence. What cooks for the do and don't department?
The what?
Never mind, Margaret. She just came in on a flying saucer. We're not supposed to understand.
Father.
Don't pay any attention to her, and she'll probably dissolve into thin air.
What is it, Betty? I thought you had a date with Dick Andrews.
Oh, there's lots of time. Look, which nail polish do you like best?
If that isn't a weird setup.
Betty, you aren't going out that way, are you?
With 8 different shades of nail polish? Of course not. But which one do you like best?
The one you've got on your thumbs.
I don't have any on my thumbs.
That's the one I like best.
Mother.
They all look very nice, dear. And I really think you ought to get dressed.
Oh, pretty soon. I was just thinking about the piece of apple pie that was left over from dinner.
Well, it's in the icebox.
It won't be for long. Creepers, if somebody'd only tell me which shade they like best, I wouldn't have all this trouble.
Oh, good grief. Anytime I decide to go to bed early...
I'll get it.
Bud, can't you learn to walk down the stairs? One of these days, the whole house is going to collapse.
Did you want me, Dad?
No, just answer the door.
That's what I was going to do.
Well, go ahead.
Didn't you want something?
I want you to see who rang the doorbell.
I heard you call me, and I thought you wanted something.
Bud.
Yes, Dad?
Please, answer the door.
You bet, Dad, right away.
I think he lies in bed at night trying to figure out ways to torment me.
No, dear, you're just tired, and after you've had a good night's rest, everything will seem much brighter.
Well, I hope you're right. And I don't care who it is, Margaret. I'm not going to stay up after 10 o'clock.
No, dear, but we can't be rude, can we?
Maybe you can't, but I can. 10 o'clock is my limit. Who is it, Bud?
It was Willie Freehoffer, and boy, did he ever look funny. His hat was way down over his ears, and he said he couldn't help it because that was the only size they had. But if they can't get one to fit him, he's going to stuff it full of newspaper, and then he thinks it'll fit better.
What did he want?
Oh, he brought a telegram. Here you are, Dad.
Just any time at all. We'll be fine.
You should have seen him, Mom. He had this Western Union hat on, and you could hardly see his face. And he had to hold his head way back like this.
No!
Yes, he did, Dad. You see, he had the hat way in the back.
She can't come. Not again.
Jim, it isn't your Aunt Martha.
It certainly is my Aunt Martha.
Oh.
Look at it. Arrive Sunday, be at depot with children, 8 o'clock, Aunt Martha. Didn't even say love. And it's only 9 words. It wouldn't have cost her anything.
Jim.
Just a minute, honey. Bud, aren't you supposed to go on a hayride?
Sure.
Well, go ahead.
I don't have to leave for 10 minutes.
Dear, your father and I have something to discuss.
Oh, okay. I was just thinking. Remember the piece of apple pie that was left over from dinner?
Betty thought of it first.
What?
She's in the kitchen with it now.
She had 2 pieces for dinner. Betty, wait a minute. I want to talk to you.
Jim, why doesn't your Aunt Martha ever give us more notice?
I don't know, honey.
Now I've got to work all night to tidy up the house.
Oh, it looks fine, just the way it is.
It doesn't at all, and you know how fussy she is.
Sure, she's afraid she might get a little dust on one of her $1,000 bills. The old crab.
Jim?
Free room and board at the Andersons. No wonder she's rich. She never spends anything.
Jim, Kathy's coming.
Old buzzard. A fine Sunday I'm going to have.
Kathy, where on earth have you been?
In the kitchen. I was watching Betty make a sandwich.
A sandwich? What happened to the pie?
I ate it.
Why aren't you in bed?
It isn't time.
It certainly is time. It's almost 9 o'clock.
It isn't even 8 o'clock.
Kathy, stop arguing with me and go to bed.
But you said I could stay up until 8:30.
Well, look at the hall clock. It's almost 9.
Oh, no, dear. It isn't quite 5 minutes of 8. And besides...
Oh, I guess I forgot to tell you. I turned all the clocks back.
You did?
Jim, whatever on earth for?
Because tomorrow is the last Sunday in September. We go back to standard time at 2 o'clock. And I certainly don't intend to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning to fix a bunch of clocks.
Jim, you aren't supposed to turn the clocks back. You're supposed to turn them ahead.
Margaret, the principle of daylight saving is to save daylight, right?
Well, yes.
So you turn the clocks back in September and gain the hour you lost in April. That's simple enough, isn't it?
If you turn them back, dear, how can you gain anything?
You gain the hour you lost because you get it over again. You have the same hour twice.
You can't gain anything by going backward. You have to go forward.
Not with clocks, you don't. You turn them back.
Daddy.
What is it, Kathy?
You turned them back in April.
I did not turn them back in April. I turned them ahead.
Jim, you said in April that we gained an hour of daylight.
That's right, because it stayed early later. I mean, it got later early. Margaret, the sun stayed up longer.
Why?
Because it got late later.
Kathy, I think you'd better go to bed.
But Daddy said we lost an hour in April, and he turned the clocks backwards. Now we ought to turn them frontwards.
Kathleen, no matter what I did in April, tomorrow we do not turn the clocks ahead.
No?
No.
I already did.
Kathy.
Jim, she was only doing what she thought was right.
Well, she had no business doing anything. If you don't understand the principle of daylight saving, you don't move the clocks around.
But Mommy said...
Never mind what Mommy said. You didn't see her changing the clocks, did you?
No.
Jim,
Yes?
I moved them ahead, too.
Oh.
Well, I'm sure that's what you're supposed to do. The paper said you gained an hour.
You gain an hour by turning the clocks back.
Well, what time is it?
How do I know the way everybody gets the clocks all messed up? Betty,
Yes, Father?
what time does it say on the kitchen clock?
4:15.
Well, that's a great help.
What's all the fuss about, Dad?
Oh, nothing at all. It's just that people shouldn't mess around with things they don't understand.
Daddy's mad because I moved the clocks ahead.
It's perfectly all right, dear. You meant well.
I didn't know I was going to get everything mixed up.
You don't have to worry, Dad. Kathy didn't spoil anything.
What do you mean?
Well, she told me she turned the clocks ahead, so I turned them back.
Bud, you moron!
What?
You didn't turn them back. You couldn't.
Why couldn't I?
Because I turned them back, too.
Oh, Betty.
Well, I thought I was just making it the right time.
Jim, where are you going?
I'm going to find out what time it is. You've got the clocks in this house so mixed up, we can't tell if it's Wednesday or Friday.
Daddy, it's Saturday.
Thank you very much.
At the tone, the time will be 8:58 and 40 seconds.
There, now we know. From now on, please leave the clocks alone.
What time is it, dear?
What she said, 8:50, 1 minute to 9.
9?
To 9?
Gosh, I ought to be in bed. Good night, everybody.
Oh, Mother, I'm half an hour late now, and I've got on 8 shades of nail polish. What am I going to do?
Holy cow, I missed the whole hayride.
Betty, stop moaning. Get dressed and go.
But my nails.
They'll never notice the nails.
I'm ruined. My whole life is ruined.
Good night, everybody.
The last hayride of the year, and I missed it.
Maybe they waited for you, Bud.
They couldn't. There was a rule. No waiting for anybody.
Are you sure?
Sure, I'm sure. I made up the rule.
Daddy!
You know, this whole thing is very interesting. It merely proves what I've been telling you for years. If you don't understand something, leave it alone. You see what happened? Betty's late for her date. Bud missed his hayride.
And what time was your broadcast, dear?
8 o'clock. Oh, my God.
Daddy!
Not now, please, Kathy. Everybody be quiet.
And so we bring to a close this full hour of news broadcasting from around the world. Tune in again.
Oh, Jim, dear.
What was it you wanted to say, Kathy?
Good night, everybody.
Another cup of coffee, please. It's the best I ever tasted. Tomorrow you can hear that from the world's greatest coffee expert. Yes, ma'am, he'll be there at your table. Because the world's greatest coffee expert is your husband. Of course, we rate ourselves pretty high as experts. Our Maxwell House coffee has long been America's favorite brand. But we know the final judge is that man of yours. And if you pour him a cup of Maxwell House, we're pretty certain he'll say, best coffee I ever tasted. In fact, if he doesn't, we'll give you your money back. You see, we know no other coffee tastes like Maxwell House, because no other coffee's made like Maxwell House. Get a pound tomorrow. Start serving your husband the coffee with that wonderful good to the last drop flavor. If he doesn't tell you it's his number one choice, why, you send us the can and unused portion, and we'll gladly refund the price you paid. Our address is right on the front of every one of those familiar blue tins. Put it up to the world's greatest coffee expert tomorrow. Give him Maxwell House coffee. Always good to the last drop.
Westerner for Plainfield, Roxville, Middletown, Pittsfield, Madison, and Klamath Junction on track 4.
All right, Bud, let's watch where we're going.
What?
You're bumping into everybody.
Pardon me.
Betty, hold your brother's eyes open.
I'll hold them open, Daddy.
You should have seen them stare at me, Father. You'd have thought I was a freak or something, just because my nails didn't match.
Pardon me.
Fine telegram. Doesn't say what train she's coming on or where she's leaving from. Just be there at 8 o'clock.
Daddy, I can't reach his eyes. Shall I stick him with a pin?
Never mind, Kathy. Skip the whole thing.
Gee whiz.
Pardon me.
All right, Bud, that's enough. Let's wake up. Bud.
Why don't we just prop him up against a post and pretend we don't know him?
He'll come to in a little while. Bud? Bud!
Breakfast.
What?
All right, now stay awake.
Somebody said breakfast.
They did? Well, whoever could it have been?
Hey, we're at the station. How do we get down here?
We'll draw you a diagram as soon as we find Aunt Martha. What happened to the information booth?
It's in back of the magazine stand.
Where'd they move the magazine stand?
Well, it's right over there, Daddy. See?
Stick everything into a corner where you can't see it. Come on, Bud. This is no time to sit down.
People get arrested for yelling fire when there isn't any fire. Why should she yell breakfast when there isn't any breakfast?
It was a joke, Dopey.
Some joke.
Well, it woke you up.
I was waking up anyway. You didn't have to yell breakfast.
And Cornelia said, "These are my jewels, my children."
What?
Never mind, I was just mumbling.
Here's the information booth, Daddy.
Thank you, Kathy. You're a great help.
I am?
You certainly are.
Boy, is this a mixed-up morning.
I beg your pardon. We have a wire from an aunt of mine telling us to meet her here at 8 o'clock, and we don't know exactly where she's coming from. So could you give us any information about any train that's supposed to arrive here anywhere in the neighborhood of that time? I said we have a wire from an aunt of mine.
What do you mean you don't know where she's coming from?
Well, my aunt was staying with my cousins in Bedford. That's where the wire came from, and there isn't any train in Bedford.
So?
Well, Bedford's halfway between Lancaster and New Canaan, and there's a station in Lancaster on the Lackawanna and St. Paul, and a station in New Canaan on the Springfield and Northern...
wait a minute. This is the information desk. I'm supposed to be telling you.
Well, let's not stand on ceremonies. Is there a train from either place at 8 o'clock?
Which 8 o'clock? Eastern, Central, Mountain, or Pacific Coast?
Suppose we try Central.
Oh, let me see. Nope. No train at 8 o'clock.
How about Eastern?
Eastern, here we are. New Canaan.
8 o'clock?
11:30.
Look, is there any train due in here at 8 o'clock?
A.M. or P.M.?
I don't know. She just said to meet her at 8 o'clock.
Well, wait till I get my book. I'll look it up.
You do that.
Father, Bud's asleep again.
Let him sleep. One of us might as well be having a good time. Where's Kathy?
Oh, I don't know. Kathy!
All you have to do is leave her alone for 10 seconds. Kathy!
She was standing right next to me a minute ago.
Well, see if you can find her before she breaks one of the locomotives. Bud. We've lost Kathy. Good. Bud.
Do you want me to say it again?
No, just go find your sister.
Okay. Kathy!
Attention, please. This is your last call for the New Westerner, leaving on track 4 for Plainfield, Rockville, Middletown, Pittsfield, Madison, and Klamath Junction. The dining car is forward and is now open for breakfast.
What?
Bud, we can't find Kathy.
Somebody said breakfast.
We'll all have breakfast in a few minutes. Why don't you go look for Kathy?
Where'd she go?
We don't know where she went. Just look for her.
Holy cow. Wake you up in the middle of the night and then you can't even have your breakfast.
Well, I got all the information for you on that 8 o'clock train.
Fine.
There isn't any.
But there must be. She said to meet her at 8 o'clock.
We got one at 7:45.
Well, that's close enough. Which one is it?
It don't run on Sunday.
I have a telegram right here in my pocket. I'll show it to you.
Were you calling me, Daddy?
Where have you been?
I was looking at the comics.
Well, where are they?
On the magazine stand.
Oh, those comics. What happened to Betty and Bud?
I don't know. Did they get lost?
They're looking for you.
But I'm here.
See that you stay here. Oh, I'm sorry. I guess we're a little confused this morning.
You're a little confused. People come up and they don't know where they're going.
Oh, I'm sorry.
8 o'clock, 7 o'clock, Eastern, Central. How am I supposed to figure it out? Some of them don't even know where the people are coming from.
That's me.
Oh. Well, now what are we supposed to do?
Shall we dance?
Father!
All right, Betty, I found her.
I wasn't lost.
Oh, Father, the most horrible thing just happened.
You found Aunt Martha.
I got a run in my stocking. I can't walk around here like this. Look at it.
Dad.
What is it, Bud?
There's a big cafeteria over at the other end, and you can get all kinds of breakfast.
Later, Bud, later.
For only 85 cents, you can get eggs and cereal and milk.
I said later.
And everything.
Look, miss, I want you to read the telegram for yourself. Arrive Sunday, be at depot with children at 8 o'clock. Now, what could be clearer than that?
What depot?
This depot. How many depots are there in Springfield?
Train depot, freight depot, bus depot.
Bus depot? Oh, no.
Is something wrong, Daddy?
She probably came in on a bus. Is there a bus from Bedford at 8 o'clock?
Mister, I got enough trouble keeping track of the train.
Betty, what time is it?
8:15.
Oh, the poor thing. She's probably sitting in the bus depot worrying about us. We'd better get right over there.
Oh, hey, wait a minute. There's a 7 o'clock train from New Canaan. Maybe that's the one she meant.
She said 8 o'clock.
It never gets in until 8.
Well, where is it?
It won't be in until 9.
Oh, my aching back. Now what do we do?
Well, why don't we split up, Father? You go to the bus depot and we'll stay here.
All right.
Why don't I go home?
You're going to stay here and meet Aunt Martha, all of you.
But maybe she got tired of waiting and took a cab.
That's got nothing to do with it. I'm going to the bus depot and you're going to stay here.
Father, what if she did take a cab?
With her own money? Don't be ridiculous.
Daddy!
And I don't want any trouble with you.
I didn't do anything. I was just thinking.
Me too.
Why don't you call Mommy and tell her what happened?
What?
And then if Aunt Martha calls, she can tell her not to worry.
Say, that's a very good idea. Thank you, Kathy.
You're welcome.
Well, we'll call your mother and get her straightened out, and then I'll take off at the bus depot.
The phone's right here, Daddy.
Thank you, Kathy. I don't know what I'd have done without you today.
Father.
What is it, Betty?
Do we all have to stay here? I mean, couldn't you take Kathy with you?
I'll be glad to take her with me. She's a joy and a pleasure compared with some of my numbskull children.
What did we do?
Hello?
Oh, Margaret, this is Jim.
Oh, Jim, I've been trying to reach you all over town.
Honey, if Aunt Martha calls, tell her I'm on my way over to the bus depot.
Jim.
And I'm leaving the kids at the station in case she's on the 7 o'clock train.
Jim.
And no matter what she says, tell her she's not to worry.
Jim.
Margaret, I haven't got time to talk.
Jim, will you please listen to me?
Yes, dear. What is it?
Right after you left, we got another telegram from Aunt Martha. She isn't coming.
Oh, no.
Every time you buy coffee, you certainly want to get the most for your money. The most in flavor, the most truly good cups of coffee from every pound. And you can get some real help finding that from the world's greatest coffee expert. Yes, ma'am. Just serve up a cup of Maxwell House to that husband of yours. He's the #1 expert. And when you hear him say, "That's the coffee for me," you'll know Maxwell House is the coffee for you, too. Your coffee buy. Bring home a familiar blue Maxwell House tin tomorrow. See how much your coffee expert husband enjoys every cupful. And count how many truly good cups of coffee you get in that 1 pound. We're mighty sure you'll find it's Maxwell House coffee that gives you the most for your money. Because it's always good to the last drop.
It's an ill wind that blows no good, and civilization goes forward on a succession of disasters, such as those which constantly befall the Andersons. Take the sad events of the past weekend. They had their effect on the progress of man in a great many ways. For example, in the arts.
I'm a success, Mother. I'm a success.
Oh?
I'm the biggest thing in Springfield since Hattie Carnegie.
Betty, will you please stand still?
Do you know what happened in school today? Every girl on the campus was wearing 8 shades of nail polish.
The sciences.
Did you know that the roost toxicodendron emits a glucoside that causes violent itching even after it's all dried up?
Roost what?
Poison ivy.
What about it?
It was mixed up with the hay, and everybody who went on the ride is sick in bed.
And general education.
I was the only one in the whole class who knew about daylight saving.
Well, that's fine, dear.
And next April, when the clocks go back...
Kathy, they don't go back in April. They go ahead.
Oh, I know. I mean, when they go back on daylight saving.
Well, what about it?
Well, I'll just know why. That's all.
Good.
Jim.
Yes, Margaret.
I understand all about the clocks and why you turn them back.
Yes?
But I certainly think someone ought to tell the newspapers.
What?
Well, they're the ones who get everybody confused. If they just said we lose an hour, then naturally we'd turn the clocks back.
But we don't lose an hour. We gain an hour.
If you turn the clocks back...
Margaret, you get the hour over again. That's why they say you gain an hour. If it's 8 o'clock and you turn your watch back to 7 o'clock, then you've got 60 whole minutes to live over again. If you turn them ahead, you skip an hour and you lose it. That's why the newspapers say...
Life is swell when you keep well. And what better way to help keep well than with Post 40% Bran Flakes, America's favorite bran flakes. Post Bran Flakes provide bran to help prevent irregularity due to lack of bulk in the diet, plus important vitamins and minerals. And you'll love the delicious flavor of Post Bran Flakes. Serve them for breakfast tomorrow. Remember, life is swell when you keep well. Try Post 40% Bran Flakes. Join us again next week when we'll be back with Father Knows Best, starring Robert Young as Jim Anderson, with Roy Bargy and the Maxwell House Orchestra, and yours truly, Bill Foreman. So until next Thursday, good night and good luck from the makers of Maxwell House, America's favorite brand of coffee. Always good to the last drop. Father Knows Best was transcribed in Hollywood and written by Ed James. Now stay tuned in for Dragnet, which follows immediately over most of these stations.
In the blazing desert sun, no others dared to do it, so there could be only one. Just one that passed the killing grind of sun and wind and sand. The test that proved this new car wax is the finest in the land. Turtle wax, turtle wax, turtle wax.
Reader's Digest ad tells the story of the amazing Turtle Wax protective power that kept cars' colors shining bright even in fiery Death Valley sun. Just one waxing of Turtle Wax with new Sun Stop gives your car a beautiful hard shell finish guaranteed to last up to 1 full year. It's quick and easy to Turtle Wax your car yourself. Remember, just one waxing of Turtle Wax with Sun Stop lasts up to 1 full year.
Turtle Wax gives a hard shell finish. Turtle Wax gives a hard shell finish. Turtle Wax.
Our next broadcast premiered in 1935. The program struggled in the ratings until 1940 when it became a national sensation. Within 3 years, it was the top-rated program in America. Few radio shows were more beloved, and few play as well half a century later. It was the brainchild of real-life married couple Jim and Marion Jordan and was broadcast to the nation from WMAQ Chicago. The show entertained America until March of 1956 and continued on NBC's Monitor until 1959. We invite you to join us at 79 Wistful Vista with Fibber McGee and Molly right here on HOJO Radio.
The Johnson Wax Program with Fibber McGee and Molly. The makers of Johnson's Wax and Johnson's Self-Polishing Glow Coat present Fibber McGee and Molly, written by Don Quinn, with songs by Martha Tilton and the King's Men, and music by Billy Mills. The show opens with Don't Ever Leave Me. We have just received this message for our listeners in a telegram from the president of S.C. Johnson & Son Incorporated, our sponsor. In these serious days, there can be no division of opinion. The United States is at war. We are all ready and eager to do our part. The makers of Johnson's Wax and Glow Coat believe it is in the public interest to continue programs as entertaining as Fibber McGee and Molly. They have a place in national morale. So you can continue to hear Fibber McGee and Molly and still be in touch with latest developments. We have asked the National Broadcasting Company to feel free at any time to cut into our programs with important news flashes and announcements. Signed, H.F. Johnson, Jr. Well, there's an old saying to the effect that the female is more deadly than the male. But around the first of the month, the male can be pretty deadly, too. And here at 79 Wistful Vista, the postman has just left a stack of, which on the breakfast table reaches halfway up the coffee pot. And it's all for Fibber McGee and Molly.
Heavenly days, McGee. Look at these bills.
You look at them. I got a letter from my cousin Ick.
Ick?
Yeah, you know. Ichabod McGee.
Oh, sure. He was the black sheep of your family, wasn't he?
Yeah, complete no good. Ran away when he was 16.
Oh?
Bummed around the country and started gambling. Won a few $100 and squandered the whole roll on a few acres of scrub farmland and then carelessly discovered oil on it. Worthless little pup is now worth $4 million.
Your own brother?
Unfortunately, he ain't my own brother anymore. We disowned him in 1926.
No, before he discovered the oil, no doubt. Well, what's he say in his letter?
He says, Dear Brother Fibber. Bah. Signed Ick, the black sheep. I guess Ick ain't in any mood to make up.
Well, I, for one, won't chase after him just because he has money.
No, me either. Wonder how I could get him to chase after me. Hey, what's this postcard?
Well, how should I know? It's addressed to you, and I never read your mail. Anyway, it's just an advertisement.
Hey, it isn't either just an advertisement. It's from the Wistful Vista Wholesale Outlet Store. It says, you have been recommended and selected as one of a small list of patrons to whom we extend the privilege of purchasing standard merchandise at a 40% discount.
Oh,
boy. This card will be your identification, not transferable. Yours very truly, signed, Paul, your pal Peters.
Oh. Say, I didn't know you had a Paul named Pal Peters. Who is he? And why should he give you 40% discount on anything?
Oh, they just do that for a few prominent citizens, for the goodwill. See, Molly, if they...
Oh, come in.
Hi, babe. Hello, Skimp.
Hello, Mr. Mills.
Hi, Billy. What's troubling your pretty little bald head today? You know anything about radio, Skimp? Fool me? I'll say I do.
Why, sure he does, Mr. Mills. He fixed ours yesterday.
Yeah.
Now all we have to do to get KPMO is turn the dial to WTL and kick it 3 times.
I gasped with him. I wanted to get my sister a radio for Christmas.
Hey, I thought you got her a new one a couple of years ago, Billy.
Well, I did, but it's worn out. She can't get Ed Wynn on it anymore. Well, if you want... Hey, look. I can get you a radio wholesale, Billy. 40% off. How much you want to sink into it? Oh, about $50.
Oh, well, you want one that'll play records?
No, my sister hasn't got any records. You leave the whole thing to me, Billy. Tell Santa Claus it's in the bag. You mean you can get me a $50 radio for 30, Skimp? Absolutely. Save you 20 smackers. So if you were thinking of getting me some little inexpensive thing for Christmas, you can do a little better now. Hey, wait a minute, Skimp. How come you get 40% off on radios? What do you mean on radios? I get 40% off on anything. I got connections. I know people in the right places.
Oh, sure. Don't you forget, Mr. Mills McGee is a prominent citizen.
You betcha.
Stand up, dearie, and show Billy how prominent you really are.
Well, I'm certainly obliged, Skimp. Want the 30 frog skins now? No. Wait till you get the radio.
Will you sit down and have a cup of coffee, Billy?
No, thanks, babe. Coffee makes me sleepy. Makes you sleepy? That's funny. Keeps most people awake. Not me. I never drank it. So long. There's a great actor lost in that guy.
And I doubt if they ever find him. Are you going downtown to get his radio right away, McGee?
Yeah, I think so. Might want to pick up a few things myself. After all, I haven't got your electric waffle iron. Ooh! I haven't got your Christmas present yet.
Oh, I wonder what it's going to be. But you can get that later, McGee. I'll go with you today so we can...
Oh, dear. Come in.
Oh, hello, Mrs. Uppington.
How do you do, my dear? And Mr. McGee.
Hi, Uppy.
I was just going downtown to select a new floor lamp, Mrs. McGee. Would you care to go along?
Well, now...
Hey, wait a minute, Uppy. Don't go throwing your dough away now. Let me handle this for you. I can get 40% off on any merchandise.
Now, wait a minute, McGee.
How much you want to pay for a floor lamp, Uppy?
Mr. McGee, when I want something, I am not one to count the cost.
Oh.
With me, money is no object whatsoever.
Ooh.
I want the best, and I'm perfectly willing to pay for it. But if possible, try and keep it under $7.
Catch on, McGee? Be as reckless as you like, as long as you're careful. What kind of a lamp do you want, Abigail?
Well, my dear, I rather had in mind one with a marble and bronze base, a fluted gold leaf column, a cluster of 5 bulbs with an indirect fixture at the top, a large beige monk's cloth shade, perhaps surmounted by a small jade ornament.
Yeah. You had that in mind for $7?
Yes. Yes, I did.
Would you go to $8.50 if it had Melvin Douglas shinnying up the post to turn it on for you?
As long as you can get it wholesale, Miss McGee, you may even go as high as $10 if necessary.
Oh.
Now, that would amount to $6, I believe, with a discount.
Yeah, and if I see a nice pair of pliers for about 2 bits, you want those too, Uppy?
Why should she want a pair of pliers, McGee?
Well, I hate to see anybody pitching pennies like this with their bare hands.
Miss McGee, you are so amusing.
I kill me, too.
Oh, he's a card, Abigail.
That's what I tell everyone, my dear. I always say Mr. McGee is simply a card. heart.
Oh, shucks.
An ace with a short A.
The King's Men singing Chul. La 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 la. Who said a woodchuck would? Would he chuck another woodchuck's wood? If a woodchuck could chuck, he'd chuck good. Book-a-diddle-a-boo, so real. Choo, choo, choo-la-roo. Choo-la, chag-a-rack, choo-la-barbecue. Every time I see silly by the wheel, book-a-diddle-a-boo, so real. Ooh-la-roo. Choo-la, chag-a-rack, choo-la-barbecue. Every time I see silly by the wheel, book-a-diddle-a-boo, so real. The tune is teasy, so cool and breezy. Just take it easy. Choo, choo, choo-la-roo. Choo-la, chag-a-rack, choo-la-barbecue. Every time I see silly by the wheel, book-a-diddle-a-boo, so real. I met with a gal and her name was Vasily. Side of her, side Vasily, won't you be less chilly? You should have seen a change come over that Billy. Book-a-diddle-a-boo, so real. Choo, choo, choo-la-roo. Choo-la, chag-a-rack, choo-la-barbecue. Every time I see Vasily by the wheel, book-a-diddle-a-boo, so real. Once some policeman met a fiddle-um, sitting on a stirrup cone chewing gum for rum. Woo! Said the policeman, won't you see me gum? Book-a-diddle-a-boo, so real. No rhyme nor reason, but kind of pleasing, always in season. Choo, choo, choo-la-roo, choo-la, chag-a-rack, choo-la-barbecue. Last time I saw him, silly by the wheel, book-a-diddle is a riddle with a fiddle in the middle, took a diddle in a bag of feather hay. Sure, 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 how silly it makes you feel, book-a-diddle-a-boo, so real, so real, so real. Never get a better with a diller in a bag of feather hay.
Well, are we going downtown to that wholesale house or not, dearie?
Chul, sure. Just as soon as I ride down this memorandum. Now, let's see. I'll get it. Hello? Yeah, this is him speaking. Oh, hi, Mort. Yeah. Huh? No, I never shoot craps much, Mort. Pinochle Mort, huh? Oh, trap shooting. I thought you were talking baby talk. I'd get a 12-gauge shotgun if I was you, Mort. That's the best. Hey, wait a minute, Mort. I can get you one wholesale.
Oh, dear. Here we go again.
Oh, what say, Mort? Sure, 40% off. Okay, you just leave it to me, Mort. You betcha. Okay, Mort. Goodbye, Mort.
I never saw you act as a middleman before, McGee, but, man, you're sure putting yourself in the middle.
Oh, well, what's one more little item? Put that down on the list, Molly. 12-gauge shotgun, automatic, full choke.
Full what?
Choke.
What does he do, shoot things and then strangle them?
Oh, choke means the barrel is kind of made smaller at the end. Now, let's see. One radio, one lamp, one shotgun.
One wonders.
One wonders what?
One wonders what one's getting into.
Okay. Laugh if you want it, but 40% off ain't anything to sneer at.
Who's laughing?
Wasn't me. Hey, I wonder if I could get a Cocker Spaniel down there.
Why buy one there?
Well, they say a bargain dog never bites. Won't you get it, Molly? 40% off, bargain dog.
It ain't funny, McGee.
I should have made it a Chihuahua.
Hey, Fibber, Molly.
Hello, Mr. Wilcox.
Can't stop to talk to you now, Harlow. Got to go downtown.
Anytime you can't stop talk to him, dearie, you'd better go downtown. And look for a job.
Oh, well, all right. What you want, Harlow?
Look at this swell box of cigars. Would this make a nice gift, or wouldn't it?
Say, them are pretty snarky stogies, Harlow. 25 centers. I could tell more about them if I...
Hey! Put those back. These are for a gift.
Is it somebody special, Mr. Wilcox?
I'll say, Mom. It's more of a prize than a gift, really. I'm presenting them to the man who coined the slogan, "Your linoleum will be your pride if Johnson's Glow Coat is applied."
Oh, were you having a contest?
Well, no, not exactly, but I thought it was pretty good. You see, it implies the whole story of Johnson's self-polishing Glow Coat.
Get this, folks. It's the stuff that keeps Wilcox working, you waiting, and us eating.
I'm serious, Fibber.
You think I'm kidding?
That slogan almost tells the whole story of Glow Coat. How easy it is to apply, how it dries to a beautiful finish in 20 minutes or less with no rubbing or buffing, and how it keeps your linoleum from cracking, checking, fading, and soiling. It saves your nickels and saves your knuckles, and your linoleum never cracks and buckles.
Well, I think it's well worth a box of cigars for that slogan, Mr. Wilcox.
Yeah. Who's the smart smoker that donated that little hunk of poetic promotion, Harlow?
Me?
You?
Yep. Thought of it coming down the street and bought myself a box of cigars as a reward.
Oh.
Well, it won't keep you any longer, folks. Go on.
What do you know about that? Boy, does he appreciate him.
You know, I think it's wonderful, McGee, how he keeps so interested in his job.
Yeah, it'd be all right if he kept his enthusiasm to himself, but he's got Billy Mills doing it, too.
How do you mean?
Well, I saw Billy out with a gal the other night, and was he pouring it on and spreading it around.
Come in.
Hello, Mrs. McGee. Hello, McGee.
Oh, Mayor Latrivia, how do you do, I'm sure?
What can we do for you that won't take long, Latrivia?
Oh, nothing, thank you. I was just taking a walk and thought I'd drop in a moment.
Oh.
As mayor, you know, I like to walk around the city and mingle with the common citizens. Sort of like Harun al-Rashid.
Oh, yes. Who's he?
Harun al-Rashid was an Oriental potentate in the Arabian Nights, McGee.
Oh, he was, eh? And what did this Oriental potato do, Latrivia?
Oh, he mixed with the people and listened to what they were saying so he'd know what was going on among the populace. Didn't you ever read the Arabian Nights?
Why, of course not. McGee can't read Arabian.
Anyway, by the time I get through reading Bringing Up Father and Flash Gordon and Smokey Stover, I'm all wore out.
It's very amusing. In a pathetic sort of way. By the way, do you know where I can buy a large globe of the world for my office?
Why, sure, Latrivia. I can get you one wholesale. How much you want to pay for a good globe?
Oh, it doesn't matter much, McGee. As long as I get a good one. Things are happening so fast these days, I like to keep informed.
You want a globe with Japan on it, Mr. Mayor?
Why, certainly.
Well, then you better get one quick.
You leave it to me, Latrivia. I'll see that you get a good one cheap. I got connections.
Splendid, splendid. Thank you very much. I'll try to return the favor sometime.
Hey, how about that job in the city hall you promised me?
Oh, did the mayor promise you a job, did
Well,
he?
practically. He says he was looking for a smart, level-headed man to look in on the higher-ups in the interests of clean government.
Oh, yes. The window washing job. Oh, that's been filled, McGee, but I'll keep my eyes open for you. A good day.
Goodbye, Mr. Mayor.
Window washing job. Who does he think I am?
He thinks you're the man who wanted the window washing job. Let me take that shopping list again, McGee.
Yeah.
Now, what have we? A radio, a floor lamp, a globe, and a shotgun.
Yeah.
Ah, civilization in a nutshell. How are we going to get all this stuff home?
Oh, I imagine they'll deliver it to the different people for us.
Well, if they don't, we can stick up a truck driver with a shotgun.
Yeah. Well, I could bop him with the floor lamp and run off with the globe.
McGee, look who's here, Mr. Wimple. Hello, Mr. Wimple.
Hi, Wimp, old man.
Hello there, folks. Excuse me for walking right in, but my goodness, I haven't seen you for simply weeks. I suppose that's because it's been so rotten out.
No, it's because you've been so written out.
Mrs. McGee, I just love a woman who has a sense of humor.
Oh, I love this one myself, Wimple. You go get one of your own.
Hasn't your wife any sense of humor, Mr. Wimple?
Who, Sweetie Face? Well, yes, in a way she has, Mrs. McGee. But she's more of a practical joker, you might say.
Oh, one of those.
Yes. I'll never forget the time we were mountain climbing, and she held me over the edge of a cliff by my coat collar.
Oh, yeah, but you knew she wouldn't drop you, Mr. Wimple.
Oh, of course I knew it, Mrs. McGee. It certainly wasn't her fault that she got bit by a snake just that minute and had to let go.
Oh. Heavenly days, Mr. Wimple. How far did you fall?
Only a few feet, Mrs. McGee. Fortunately, my pants caught on a bush, and there I was, looking down into a 400-foot canyon, screaming for help and taking pictures like mad with my 2A brownies.
How about the wife, Wimple? Was the snake bite serious?
Oh, indeed it was, Mr. McGee. Death came within 5 minutes, and Sweetie Face skinned it for a hat band. We often think back to that day and have a hearty laugh. At least I think back and she laughs.
Have you got your Christmas shopping done yet, Mr. Wimple?
No, I still have to get a pair of dumbbells with her initials on to give Sweetie Face.
Oh, with a card reading Merry Christmas from the three of us? Hey, I'll buy some for you, Wimple. I can get you some dumbbells wholesale. 40% off.
I wish we had some music with this merry-go-round.
Well, I'd certainly appreciate it, Mr. McGee. A bargain really appeals to me these days.
Yeah, a guy gets kind of short around Christmas, doesn't he, Wimp?
Oh, indeed he does. I was looking at my dime bank this morning, and it's practically empty.
Oh, did you shake it real hard?
I didn't have to, Mrs. McGee. Sweetie Face caught me looking at it, and she shook both of us. Well, thank you ever so much, Mr. McGee, and do drop over some night. I've told Sweetie Face all about you, and I'm sure she doesn't hate you as much as she says. Bye.
He must lead me. Oh, look at the time it is, McGee.
Oh, my gosh, we got to get going before that store closes. Get your hat, Mom.
I'm all ready. Get your own hat. You got the list of things?
Sure, right here.
How about the checkbook?
Oh, my checkbook. Oh, where's my checkbook? Oh, I remember.
Where is it?
Right here in the hall closet. Oh. Got to straighten out that closet one of these days.
Martha Tilton singing The Last Time I Saw Paris.
The last time I saw Paris, her heart was warm and gay. I heard the laughter of her heart in every street cafe. The last time I saw Paris, her trees were dressed for spring, and lovers walked beneath those trees, and birds found songs to sing. I dodged the same old taxi cabs that I had dodged for years. The chorus of their squeaky horns was music to my ears. The last time I saw Paris, her heart was warm and gay. No matter how they changed her, I'll remember her that way. I think of happy hours and people who shared them. Old women selling flowers in markets at dawn. Children who applauded Punch and Judy in the park, and those who danced at night and kept their Paris dry. Then the town went dark. The last time I saw Paris, her heart was warm and gay. No matter how they changed her, I'll remember her that way.
Scene 79 Wistful Vista. The time, 3 hours later.
Oh, home again, thank goodness. What a horrible expedition. You and your 40% off. I think I'll run upstairs and take off about 40% myself. 50 including my shoes.
Yeah. I'm kind of tired, too. Hey, imagine that guy charging me $5 a piece to deliver all them things.
Yeah, and then you didn't get one single item you really wanted.
Well, I couldn't help it. It was so dark in that store, I couldn't see what I was buying.
Did you hear what he said about exchanging merchandise? merchandise?
Well, you can't blame him for that, Molly. With a big discount like that, he can't afford to keep taking stuff back.
How much did all those things cost you?
Oh, let me look at the checkbook. Ooh, $73. Oh, but I'll get that back now, Molly. Soon.
You answered, McGee. I couldn't lift the receiver for a bankrupt birdhouse.
Okay. Hello? Oh, hi, Mort. Did you get the shotgun? Wasn't it? Uh-huh. Oh, now take it easy, Mort. That gun is a genuine antique. Yeah, but he said... Oh, but look, Mort. Now, don't get excited. That shotgun was used by Daniel Boone at the Battle of Bull Durham. Or Bull Quibble. Well, some kind of bull. But that got it, Mort. I done my best. Hold it, Mort. There's somebody at the door. See who's there with you, Molly.
Come in.
Now, see here, McGee. What's the idea of sending me that dirty little 5-inch globe when I asked for a...
Hello, Mort. Hold the line a minute. What did you say, Latrivia?
He doesn't like the globe you bought him, dearie, oddly enough.
I certainly don't. I wanted a large-sized globe, and you send me a ridiculous little 5-inch one.
Well, it's a small world, ain't it, Latrivia?
By George, McGee, if you don't...
Excuse me, Latrivia. I'm talking to a guy on the phone. Now, look, Mort. I'm sorry I couldn't exactly get you a modern shotgun, but gee whiz, when you get 40% off...
Gee, what on earth did you think you were...
Be with you in a minute, Uppy. I'm on the phone.
Won't you sit down, Abigail, and Mr. Mayor, sit
Thank
down.
you, no. I want to speak to that husband of yours.
So do I.
It's unanimous.
Yeah, but look, Mort, I went to a lot of trouble buying you that shotgun, and if you don't appreciate...
Mr. McGee, talk to that person later. I want to speak to you about that repulsive lamp you sent me.
You think that's repulsive? If you could see the globe he sent me...
Now, let's all take it easy.
But, Mort, you don't get the idea. That gun I bought you was a genuine antique. Well, what if you can't shoot with it? Hang it over the fireplace and let the kids taste him.
You call that thing you sent me a radio?
You too, Mr. Mills?
Get off that phone, McGee. We want to talk to you.
Indeed we do.
Now, just a minute, folks. Be right with you. Now, listen to reason, Mort.
What's wrong with your lamp, Abigail?
What was wrong? The shade doesn't fit. Two sockets were broken.
You ought to see my radio, babe. Crystal set with a Morning Glory horn and headphones. How about my globe? My globe. It's so old it shows New York as Indian territory.
Well, it still is. I've seen some scalpers around Times Square.
But Mort... You don't see my side of it, Mort. All I done was...
I wish you could see my lamp.
And my radio. Let's have one complaint at a time here.
Yes. Let's all be calm.
All right, Mort. Okay, Mort, if that's the way you feel about it.
Oh, Mike McGee, about those dumbbells.
What dumbbells?
Are you referring to us, Mr. Wimple?
If he is, he's the smartest guy in the room.
All right, Mort. Okay, Mort, if you feel that way, there's nothing... Hello? Okay, folks, now just take it easy. What is all this?
Quiet, everybody.
Now, let's consider this calmly, folks. Take your time. The reason
Molly. Oh, hello, everybody.
Now what?
Gee, I'm glad everybody's here.
Why, Mr. Wilcox?
Because I've got great news.
Oh.
See me before you do any shopping.
Huh?
I know a place where I can get 40%.
Ladies and gentlemen, we know everyone is anxiously awaiting the words of President Roosevelt. In the meantime, the makers of Johnson's Wax have this message for you. America has answered the treacherous attack of the Japanese by declaring war to the victorious end. To ensure our victory, we must turn our dollars into guns and our dimes into bullets. Buy United States defense bonds and stamps at your bank, post office, or savings and loan association. Get them from your newspaper carrier boy or your retail dealer. If you live in Canada, buy Canadian War Savings certificates or victory bonds. Don't delay. Act now.
Trading post, 3 long days' journey to get powder and shot.
Today I drive my Pontiac to town in a few minutes to see the latest Paris gown.
Is this new Pontiac equipped with freewheeling? Naturally. Has it synchro silent second? Of course. Is the body by Fisher? Certainly. Well, apparently Pontiac has all the latest developments of automotive engineering. Absolutely. That is why Pontiac is today the chief of values.
HOJO Radio, where the classics come alive.
The Johnson Wax Program with Fibber McGee and Molly. The makers of Johnson's Wax and Johnson's Self-Polishing Glow Coat present Fibber McGee and Molly, written by Don Quinn, with songs by Martha Tilton and the King's Men, and music by Billy Mills. The show opens with Great Day. I was passing a neighborhood school just as the recess bell rang, and I stopped and watched as the youngsters came tumbling and racing out of the building like a herd of wild animals. Do you know what I thought about first? The abused floors in that school, and what a job it must be to protect them against that daily onslaught and keep them nice looking. You'll be interested to know that the makers of Johnson products have developed special wax polishes for floors in schools, office buildings, and hospitals. Floors that take a much heavier traffic beating than your floors at home. The next time you walk down a school or hospital or office building corridor, see if the floors look well cared for. If they do, chances are they're protected with Johnson's wax polishes. And just as your Johnson's Wax and Glow Coat save you both work and money, these special polishes developed for heavy traffic use also affect very large savings to the owners and managers of these properties. When you're buying polishes for your home, it will pay you always to insist upon the genuine Johnson's Wax polishes. Have you ever stood in your front door for half an hour saying goodbye to a visitor who wouldn't go home? Exasperating, isn't it? Well, here at 79 Wistful Vista, with his large feet blotting out the welcome on the mat, we find His Honor Mayor Latrivia, who seems to regret leaving Fibber McGee and Molly.
Good night, Mayor Latrivia.
Good night, Mayor.
So nice of you to drop in.
Not at all, Mrs. McGee. I'm only sorry your husband won't take the job. You're sure you won't reconsider, McGee?
No, I'm sorry, Latrivia. I may be the right man for the office and all that, and I'd like to serve the city, but my time is so valuable. Being all took up with Chamber of Commerce work.
Yeah, and besides, what does he know about catching dogs?
Well, all right, if that's final, McGee. Good night to you both, and... Oh, my goodness, my briefcase. I left it on the coffee table, I believe.
Oh, wait here, Trivial. I'll get it. Let me take a second. Right it on the table. Here should be right here. Here's your briefcase, Trivial. I'll come and see us again sometime.
Thank you, I will. Good night, Mrs. McGee. I've enjoyed this visit very much.
Good night, Your Honor. I hope...
Oh, sure. Come in.
Hello there, kids. Oh, hello, Mr. Mayor.
Good evening. Glad to see you, but I must be going.
Hey, wait a minute. But I got to say I'll interest you, too, Mayor.
Well, I suppose I can wait one more minute and hear what this gentleman has to say.
What gentleman? Who, me? Oh! Well, here's the proposition, kids. And, Mr. Mayor, I'm selling chances on a turkey for Thanksgiving.
Oh, no. I don't like those things. In the first place, I never gamble. And besides, every time I do it, I lose.
Besides, you got to wait too long to see if you win. Or
not on this one, Johnny. Draw a number, and if it's the lucky one, I'll tell you right away. How's about it? Only 2 bits.
Here, I'll take one.
Well, all right, so will I.
Well, now you've talked me into it. Give me one, too, old-timer.
Okay. One for you, daughter, Mr. Mayor. All right, Johnny, open them up.
Okay.
Call your numbers, kids.
27.
85.
207-540-78.
Hey, give me that. That's my Social Security card. Here's your number, Johnny.
17.
Well, did any of us win?
Nope. The winning number was 33. But the first fella to take a chance this morning got that and won the turkey. Kind of taken all the element of luck out of it, you might say. So don't feel bad about gambling, daughter. You never had a chance anyway.
Why, Why, that antiquated old gyp artist, who does he think?
Oh, that's all right, Mr. McGee. Takes all kinds of people to make a world, you know.
Yeah, and that kind ought to go somewhere else and make one of their own. Must you be rushing off so soon, Mr. Mayor?
Yes, Mrs. McGee, I have an appointment with a Miss Meach, a knitting expert.
Oh, you taking lessons, Latrivia?
Oh, no. No, she's making an Afghan for an aunt of mine for Christmas.
Go on, how can anybody knit an ashcan?
No, he said Afghan, McGee.
Huh?
Afghan. It's a kind of a muffler for your hips.
Yeah, that's very good, Mrs. McGee. That's very good.
Yeah.
But as I say, I have an appointment, so I'll just be... by the way, do you know where Miss Meach lives? It's in the neighborhood.
Meach? Never heard of her, Latrivia.
You're right.
Oh, dear. Well, may I see your telephone book a moment? I'll look it up.
It's right there under the hall table, Mr. Mayor.
Oh, thank you so much. Let me see.
Hey, Molly, ain't he ever going to get out of here?
What can we do? We can't very well take him by the nape of the neck and throw him down the front steps, can we?
Maybe not, but you're putting some awful evil thoughts in my curly little head. Personally, I
found it. Thank you very much, and good night.
Well, good night, Trivial.
Good night, and next time you're out this way...
Yeah, I'll get Molly. McGee's residence? Yes, huh? Oh, is that you, Mert? Yeah, the mayor's right here.
It's for you, Your Honor.
Oh, good thing I stayed a few seconds.
How's every little thing, Mert? Is, eh? What's, eh, Mert? Your grandmother? Plastered again, eh?
Oh, McGee, what on earth happened?
Mert's grandmother got pleurisy again. They got her plastered from here clear on to here. What's, eh, Mert? Oh, yes, the mayor's right here. Okay, I'll tell him, Mert. Goodbye.
Who was it, McGee?
Your secretary called. Says to remind you that you're laying the cornerstone for the new roundhouse tomorrow.
Oh, yes. I completely forgot about that. Thank you. Well, I'd better be running along now. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Triv. Come in again sometime.
Thank you, I will. I'll be past here again next week in connection with paving the alley back of your house.
Oh, yes, it's in terrible shape now.
Oh.
You can even see big holes in it from our kitchen window.
No.
Oh, sure you can. I look.
My goodness, I never really...
Oh.
Do you mind if I look?
Why, no, not at all, Mr. Mayor. Right this way and through the hall here.
Oh, well, that guy here. I know one way to get rid of a guy like that, but somebody's sure to find the body.
Martha Tilton sings My...
How I long to tell all the things I have planned. Still, it's wrong to tell. You would not understand. For you go along, never dreaming I care. Loving somebody somewhere, leaving me my silent
Well, I simply must be getting downtown, Mrs. McGee. I'm afraid I've overstayed my visit a trifle. I feel like the man who came to dinner.
Yeah, he broke his leg on the way out, didn't he? Here, let me help you down the steps, Latrivia.
No, never mind. I can make it. Good night, Mrs. McGee.
Good night again.
Good night, old man.
Anytime you're down at the City Hall, I hope...
What's the matter? Is there no hope down at the City Hall?
You have a visitor, Mrs. McGee. A lady is coming up the walk.
Ladies coming up? No. Uh-oh. It's Mrs. Uppington.
Mrs. Uppington?
Yes, you remember. She's one of our social leaders.
Yeah.
With a family tree that would make a giant redwood look like a sapling.
And not a good-looking limb on the whole...
McGee.
Oh, hi, Uppy.
How do you do, Mr. McGee? And Mrs. McGee.
Hello, Abigail.
Nice to see you again, Mrs. Uppington.
I saw your automobile out in front, Your Honor, and thought I might speak to you for a moment. Am I interrupting?
Oh, no. The mayor was just leaving, Uppy. 3 hours later, and you probably would have missed him.
Not that we would like to have him spend the rest of the evening with us, what there is of it.
What was it you wished to consult me about, Mrs. Uppington?
Your Honor, the Ladies' Club, of which I am temporarily chairwoman...
Here, woman, have a chair.
Temporarily.
Thank you, no. Our club, Your Honor, has passed a resolution demanding that the City Council supply heated water for the horse trough on the east side of City Hall Square. We consider it cruel and inhuman to let those poor animals drink half-frozen water all winter.
That's a great idea, Uppy. I think they ought to have a box of Kleenex there, too. So they can wipe their faces. Ever notice how they kind of drip all over their puss after they have McGee?
McGee, Mrs. Uppington is serious.
How can you tell?
By the way she sticks out her chin.
Which one, the top one?
Now, please, I am serious. Well, Mr. Mayor?
Mrs. Uppington, my compliments to the ladies of your club, whose admirable sentiments do them credit. Please inform them for me that this matter has already been presented to the City Council, and action was deferred indefinitely for the excellent reason that Wistful Vista is not only not a one-horse town, it is a no-horse town.
Well, looks like your campaign had whinnied right in your face, Abigail.
Why don't you girls get busy and knit some silencers for our manhole covers?
Mr. McGee, I bitterly resent your derisive attitude. It is a situation which demands immediate action.
But, madam, in a community which lacks horses,
but we have foreseen that difficulty, Mr. Mayor, and have collected the sum of $87 toward the purchase of a horse. Here, take it. Oh, and now perhaps we girls can sleep of nights knowing that the poor frozen animal, when we get it, can drink his fill of nice, warm water. Oh, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Determined sort of person, isn't she?
Oh, she means well, Mr. Mayor. Just a little misguided. You know, last spring she wanted to go around and pick up all the baby robins and give them flying lessons.
Yeah, she even bought time on the radio and called it We the Peep.
Oh, yes, I remember it. Laid an egg. Oh, well, I simply must be trotting along. Thank you for a very pleasant visit.
Oh, not at all, Latrivia. Glad you dropped in. Well, so long.
Goodbye, Mr. Mayor.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Mayor.
Molly. Hello, Fibber. Oh, hello, Mr. Mayor.
Don't delay the mayor, Wilcox. He's anxious to be on his way.
Yes, we're nearly desperate. I mean, the mayor has desperately been trying to leave for an hour now, haven't you, Your Honor?
Indeed, I have, Mrs. McGee, but I'm glad Mr. Wilcox dropped in. I did wish to see him.
Well, we might as well go back into the living room, folks. I've been leaning against this jam so long I can hardly hold my raspberries.
What did you want to see me about, Mr. Mayor? That parking ticket I asked you to fix for me a couple of days ago?
That's exactly what I mean, Mr. Wilcox.
Well, now, look, the circumstances of the case...
The circumstances have nothing whatsoever to do with it. I wish to state categorically...
Oh, categorically, my cat. Pipe down a minute and let me explain.
Why, Mr. Wilcox, is that any way to talk to the mayor?
Why not, Molly? I bawled a cop out once.
You did?
I surely did. I never raised my voice while I was doing it, too, either. And a good thing, because if he'd have heard me, I'd have got 90 days in the pokey. What's your excuse, Wilcox?
Well, look, I got a rush call from a Mrs. Harrison.
Yeah.
She'd only been married a week, and she was all upset, practically crying.
Oh, that's all.
Her husband was bringing some friends home from the office, and her kitchen linoleum was a mess. Dull and lifeless, faded colors, dry and patchy looking. She was so ashamed of it, she was almost in tears.
Nevertheless, parking next to a fire plug, Mr. Wilcox, is not...
It was the only place to park. This was an emergency. I dashed out there with a can of Johnson's self-polishing glow coat.
For these rescue parties, you ought to carry a little barrel of it around your neck like a St. Bernard.
Quiet, dearie. I want to hear about the little bride.
Well, that's about all. I demonstrated to her how quickly Johnson's glow coat would bring out the beauty of the pattern in her linoleum.
Yes.
How it would restore the luster and brilliance and make it so much easier to keep her kitchen clean and sparkling, and with absolutely no rubbing or buffing. Why, it saved the day for her. So you see, Your Honor, you can't let a measly little parking violation stand against the possible breaking up of a home. The wreck of a happy marriage simply because...
I'm sorry, Wilcox. I didn't understand the circumstances. You may forget the matter on one condition.
I know. That I be more careful in the future.
No. That you dash out and show my housekeeper about Glowcoat. My linoleum has got more cracks than the first 5 minutes of Bob Hope.
I'll do it right away. So long, folks.
Ah, that Wilcox is a great guy, Latrivia. He's going places. How about you?
Oh, yes. What am I thinking of? Excuse me for procrastinating my departure.
Here's your briefcase, Mr. Mayor.
Oh, thank you. And may I say that
Here's your hat.
Thank you. And I wish to express
Drop
my...
in again any time you're out this way, Mr. Mayor. Goodbye.
Goodbye, and I only hope...
Oh, not a bit of it, old man. Not a bit of it. So long now. Glad you dropped in. Things kind of get dull around here around midnight.
Yes, they do.
Kind of dry, too.
Yes. I'm pretty dry myself. And may I trouble you for a glass of water before I leave, Mr. McGee?
Why, of course, Your Honor. Just step out into the kitchen here and,
Well, I'll be a monkey's uncle. If that guy takes any longer to pull his freight, he's going to hear it from the Interstate Commerce Commission. All that dead...
Hi, mister.
Oh, hi, sis. Look, beat it and come back some other time, will you?
Why?
We got a visitor who we've been trying to get... Trying to get him out of here for 2 hours. I don't want you delaying him, too.
I know. It's Mayor Latrivia, I betcha.
How'd you know?
I saw his car outside.
Oh.
It's a snarky one, too. It's a super duper.
Hey, easy on the slang, sis. You see what it did to me.
Why?
Well, the use of slang indicates the possession of an inadequate vocabulary. If you can't express yourself in legitimate English, you're sticking your neck out for some slug to tag you as a chumpo. See? I say...
My teacher says I'm dandy in English, I betcha.
Oh, she does, eh? I said she does.
That's what?
Your teacher says you're dandy in English.
She does, she?
Ed read it. You just said she did.
My teacher says I'm a dandy on colloquialisms, mister. How are you?
Oh, I'm fine. How are you?
I mean, how are you on colloquialisms?
Well, I never went in much for athletics.
I bet you don't even know what a colloquialism is, I bet you.
Go on, everybody knows that. I'll bet you don't.
I do, too.
Oh, yeah? Well, then what is an alcohol, or what? What is it?
Well, Webster says the standards of English pronunciation, so far as a standard may be said to exist, is the usage that now prevails among educated and cultured people.
Yeah.
Though we must frankly admit the fact that at present uniformity of pronunciation is not to be found throughout the English-speaking world. What's Mayor Latrivia doing here?
How did Webster ever hear about Mayor Latrivia? Look, sis, please beat it. As it is, the mayor is sticking around here like honey on a hot cake.
Like what?
Like honey on a...
I'm hungry.
Oh, here's a quarter. Go get yourself a soda. Goodbye. What a night. It ain't enough that we got a guest that's allergic to doorknobs. I got to be pestered.
Well, McGee, the mayor's going now.
Yes, Mr. McGee, and thank you for all your trouble.
Oh, think nothing of it, Latrivia. I'm going to miss you around here. But if I do, I'll take another throw.
Now, McGee, you know he's just kidding, Your Honor.
Yes, of course.
Yes.
Quite a touch. Yes. It's nice to have seen you. You needn't show me the door, Mrs. McGee. I know the way.
All right, Mr. Mayor. Oh, no, not in there.
Not that door, Latrivia.
Why, isn't this the front door?
Got to straighten out that closet one of these days. Come on, Latrivia, we got work to do.
The King's Men sing...
30 more shopping days till Christmas, still have lots of time. I've decided to skip this year, I won't spend a dime. Tick-tock, tick-tock, tick, only 30 more shopping days till Christmas, gee, that's not so long. I am sending out cards this year, then I can't go wrong. I'll have to buy one little present for Aunt Minnie. That can wait a while. Lots of time to choose from, I got to lose. Still got 20 more shopping days till Christmas. Gee, free, but it's a bore. Let's see, 20, well, that's not bad. Still got plenty more. Take your time, what's the rush about? Stop that hurrying, stop that worrying, hurry and worry is out. All you gotta do is make a list, decide upon the price to pay. All the dither and the bother and the lather and the pother will be done before Christmas Day. Trust me, I'll be ready then. Golly, Mr. Dooley, there's that man again. Tick-tock, 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 tick. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Only 5 more shopping days till Christmas. Better go buy a tree. Must get Mama that new fur coat. She'll be mad at me. Tick-tock, tick-tock, tick. Only 3 more shopping days till Christmas. Lots of things to buy. Should have started it weeks ago. How the time does fly. Almost forgot to get that streamlined train for Junior. Where's my shopping list? Molly and Tony and Michael and Fred, a dolly, a pony, a cycle, a sled. Hear me calling Santa Claus, I need your help because there's only 2 little shopping days till Christmas. Now it's almost here. That old feeling gets in your hide, comes a stealing up here inside. Now I'm sorry that Christmas tide comes but once a year. A Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
So. There. Okay, Latrivia. You can put your coat back on now. That's everything.
You know, I really don't think you should have made the mayor put all those things back in the closet, McGee.
Oh, that's quite all right, Mrs. McGee. But what puzzles me is, how on earth can you get all that junk into that horrible little 2x4 hole in the wall?
Well, it's just an accumulation of little treasures, Mr. Mayor. Sort of a domestic Fort Knox.
Yeah, it saves time, too. When I come downstairs at night looking for burglars, I know darn well they ain't in there. So I get in there. Well, you got to be gone, Latrivia?
Yes, and believe me, I'm truly sorry if I've discommoded you. My departure has been
postponed again. I'll bet a cookie. Come in.
Hello, Mrs. McGee. Hello, Mr. McGee.
Oh, hello, Mr. Wimple.
You met Mayor Latrivia, Wimp?
Oh, yes. Mr. Wimple wrote a poem in honor of my inauguration as mayor. Oh. Didn't you, Mr. Wimple?
Indeed, I did, Your Honor. 2 verses and 27 choruses. I called it Our Old Gray Mayor, He's Just What He Used to Be. Sweetie Face, my wife, always says...
Incidentally, how is the little woman, Wimple?
The, what, Your Honor?
The little woman.
You're really not much on dimensions, are you, Mr. Mayor?
I'm afraid little is a bad description, Your Honor.
No, Mrs. Wimple is what we refer to as an Amazon, Trivial.
Amazon? River?
Yeah. She's long and wide and with a big mouth. Slow moving but dangerous, and you cross her at your own risk.
Now, Mr. McGee, that's hardly fair to Sweetie Face.
Well...
She's really a charming person, really. You should see her sitting in the window of an evening, cuddling her pets in her lap.
Oh, what are her pets, Wimple?
Well, she has 1 leopard and 1 pygmy elephant. Once she had a kangaroo that she used to box with, but not anymore.
Well, what happened to it, Mr. Wimple?
Oh, it got a cauliflower tail and went back to Australia.
Well, was there something we could do for you, Mr. Wimple?
No, Mrs. McGee. I just stopped in to pass the time of day. It's 9:45. Good night.
His wife must be quite a female.
That, Mr. Mayor, is the understatement of the week.
Yeah. She is to ordinary femininity what Colonna's mustache is to the fuzz on a peach.
Well, it's certainly been pleasant meeting all your friends, but all good things must come to an end, you know.
Yes, that's what the hickory switch said when it was carried into the woodshed. Well, here's your hat and briefcase again, Your Honor.
Thank you, and good night.
You better get going, Latrivia. It sounds like rain. And let us know when you're going to drop by again, and we'll build on a guest room.
Oh, that's very funny. Oh, I'd better wait. It might be for me again.
Why, certainly. Why should anybody be calling us here? Answer it, McGee.
Okay, if it's for you, Latrivia, shall I tell them you've left?
Well, why should you tell them that?
Oh, I don't know. I'm just a dreamer, I guess. McGee's residence. Who? Yes, he's here, but unless it's important, I don't want to... What's that? Huh? Who? It is? Oh, my gosh. Hey, Latrivia, your secretary's calling. Says the city hall is flooded.
Flooded? Oh, my goodness. Tell her I'll be right down.
Hello. He'll be right down. Goodbye. Come on, Molly.
Where?
Well, let's go with him and see if we can help.
Yes. Do come. Oh, this is terrible. Come on. Come on. He's flooded. Come on, McGee. Hurry, Mrs. McGee.
Say, what is this anyway?
Oh, I don't talk now, Molly. Come on inside.
That's it. Where's the fire? Oh, where's the... What's it? I don't understand this. Everything seems perfectly normal around here.
Well, it does to me, too. McGee.
Huh?
I thought you said my secretary said the city hall was flooded.
Yeah, but you didn't let me finish. She said it was flooded with phone calls wanting to know if you'd be back tonight.
Well, heavenly day.
McGee, was this just a trick to get me out?
Ah, Latrivia. That's why you're such a wonderful mayor. You catch on like a burr on a beagle. Come on,
It takes more than brick and mortar and shingles to make a home. Yes, that's pretty obvious. It's a thing every woman knows, especially if she's got children. You know, it's pretty important for children to like their home, to be proud of it and want to bring their friends there. How do smart women go about making their homes attractive? Not necessarily by spending a lot of money. No, you achieve that home-like quality by all the little things you do. The good taste you show in arranging your things. By adding the beauty and protection that wax polish offers with genuine Johnson's wax. The rich beauty that comes with regular application of Johnson's wax to your floors, furniture, and woodwork is impossible to obtain in any other way. It costs little, it saves much, both in wear and tear and in actual housework. Women who know call it protective housekeeping. And to play safe, they always buy the genuine Johnson's wax, paste, cream, or liquid.
Hey, Molly.
Yes, dearie?
What were we doing when Latrivia moved in on us?
Planning our Thanksgiving dinner.
Oh, yeah, Thanksgiving dinner. Did you get a big plump gobbler?
20 years ago, and this year he's going to eat chicken.
Huh? Good night.
This is Harlow Wilcox, speaking for the makers of Johnson's Wax Finishes for Home and Industry, inviting you to be with us again next Tuesday night. And may we urge you once more to join the Red Cross. Put your heart in their work. Good night.
Joel McRae, your Texas Ranger, has asked me to ask you to have some Wheaties. Yes, have some Wheaties, because it's National Wheaties Week. The week when everybody goes out and buys a box and enjoys a dish of America's famous whole wheat flakes. Start early in National Wheaties Week, so you'll have time to buy 'em and eat 'em and buy some more and eat some more. It's National Wheaties Week. Remember, it's National Wheaties Week.
Come on, everybody, to the Wheaties party. Eat a lot of Wheaties like the champions do. Dance together, cheek to cheek. This is National Wheaties Week. Eat a lot of Wheaties like the champions do. Wheaties, a breakfast of champions.
Our next broadcast is the brainchild of American comedy duo George Burns and real-life wife and partner Gracie Allen. In September of 1934, their 30-minute program premiered as The Adventures of Gracie. The title changed in 36, and from 36 till 50, the series switched back and forth between NBC and CBS until it was canceled. They reemerged on television with a successful situation comedy which lasted from 1950 to 1958. Ladies and gentlemen, we proudly present Burns and Allen on HOJO Radio.
Well, hello. Come right in. Oh, George, we've got company.
Good evening. This is Bill Goodwin. Speaking for Lever Brothers, makers of Swan, the new white floating soap that's pure as fine Castiles. Well, it's Tuesday night again. Time for another pleasant visit with George Burns and Gracie Allen. Our guests, Pat O'Brien, Jimmy Cash, Felix Mills and his orchestra, and the Swantette. Now meet the people who live in the Burns house, George and Gracie. Well, it's morning at the Burns house, and George is upstairs getting dressed to go to the office. Gracie is in the living room talking to Miss Pringle, a spinster from New England who recently moved in next door.
Where's that precious husband of yours? Still in bed at this hour?
Oh, no, George is up. He gets up early.
Early? Huh. In New England, I get up with the chickens. Go to bed with them, too.
My goodness, don't the feathers tickle you?
Your husband's just like all Californians. Lazy.
Oh. Well, don't you like California?
No, don't.
What's the matter with it?
Too far west.
Oh, I'm sorry you don't like it here.
Why did I ever leave New England?
Yeah, why did you leave New England?
Had to.
Why?
Despised it.
Oh, I see.
Oh, good morning, dear. Well, Miss Pringle. And how are you today?
Huh.
I had very short talks with her.
George, I think I'll go downtown with you this morning. I want to buy some nightgowns.
You've got dozens of them already.
But, George, this is a sale. And besides, nightgowns wear out faster at this time of the year. The nights are getting longer.
Gracie, buying a nightgown you don't need is unpatriotic. You see, that's the kind of spending the government doesn't want us to do.
The government? You mean President Roosevelt?
That's right. President Roosevelt doesn't want you to buy a nightgown.
Oh, George, he's never even seen me in a nightgown.
Gracie, what I'm trying to say is this. Everything is scarce now, hard to get. When you buy something, you make it even scarcer and boost the price. The way to keep prices down is to buy only what you absolutely need. Get it?
I think so.
Look, Gracie, take what you would put into a nightgown and put it in the bank.
Oh, silly boy.
Gracie, I mean the money. Put the money in the bank.
Ah.
Or better yet, put it to something that yields 3 times as much interest. War bonds.
Oh, now I see. Well, thanks for explaining it, George. Oh, I guess I've married the smartest man in the whole world.
Oh, I wouldn't say that. There are men smarter than me.
Oh.
Well, if you're going to pin me down. Anyway, don't change the subject. Instead of buying new things, we should make the old things last. Look, where do we keep our old clothes?
Right here in this hall closet.
I'll bet we can still use some of this stuff. What's this?
Oh, this is my wedding gown.
Oh, sure. Kept it out of sentiment, huh?
Uh-huh.
I kept the full dress suit I wore, too.
I know. The fellow you rented from still keeps calling.
What's this over here?
Oh, that's what Mama gave us for our last anniversary.
Oh, really?
Yeah, beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah.
Bet they don't build them like this anymore.
I guess not.
What do you suppose it is?
I don't know.
I hope she tells us one of these days.
Yeah, that would be nice. What's in the box?
Oh, sentimental souvenirs of my girlhood days. Everything in this box has a tender significance. For instance, this piece of cactus.
What's tender about a piece of cactus?
Oh, it taught me the meaning of love. It was in a high school picnic, and Joe Sweeney was my date. For 2 hours, he held me on his lap, and he didn't even know he was sitting on that cactus.
Must have been a tender memory for Joe.
Oh, sure. Oh, and look at this. The first bottle of perfume I ever bought. That was the turning point in my life.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Up to then, I'd been trying to attract boys with bath salts.
What's in that box?
More souvenirs. Letters from boys. Pictures of boys. Presents from boys. Notes from boys.
You were sort of boy crazy, weren't you?
Well, all girls are at that age, George. It's normal and healthy, and I was even a little healthier than most of them.
Sure.
Oh, and look, here's a snapshot of a boy I really had a crush on. He was captain of the football team.
He looks kind of familiar. What's his name?
Pat O'Brien.
Pat O'Brien? He's the
Is he the movie star?
That's right. He's always in those pictures where the other fella gets the girl and he walks off alone in the sunset.
Well, if you were such friends, how is it you never asked him over here?
Well, I kind of thought you might be jealous of him.
Oh, don't be silly. Why should I be jealous of your high school sweetheart?
Well, because he went to high school.
I see.
But I'm glad I married a self-made man. When other women brag about their husbands, I just sit there and laugh.
You do?
Sure. Because I know that when my turn comes along to brag about you, they're going to laugh.
I see.
I like your looks, George. You have a face with character, an interesting face. And I'm proud when people take me for your daughter.
Thanks, kid.
Well, hi, people.
Hello, Bill.
What goes on?
Oh, a little wartime economy. I'm going to make the old worn-out things do for the duration.
Oh, that's good, Gracie. We're all fond of George.
Bill, would you like to go steady?
Oh, and look what I just found in the closet, Bill. A picture of Pat O'Brien and me, taken when he was captain of our high school football team.
Gee, Gracie, that reminds me of my football days. I'll never forget the big game. The crowd's yelling, "Come on, Bill! Come on, Bill!" And me racing down the field. The whole Notre Dame team chasing me.
Well, did you make a touchdown, Bill?
Oh, I didn't have the ball. They were after my swan soap.
Oh, no. No.
Well, sure. Swan's a real All-American, a 4-time winner. It's great for your complexion, perfect for bathing the baby, and solid suds for doing dishes and light laundry. Swan is 4 swell soaps in one.
And you always played football with a bar of Swan in your pocket?
Voted the cleanest player in the league.
Oh.
Where was this, Bill?
In college, Gracie. I worked my way through college, you see, waiting tables in a sorority house. Oh, did I have fun. There were some swell-looking dishes there.
Well, didn't the sorority mother watch you?
No, she'd be in the front room with the girls.
Oh, where were you?
In the kitchen washing the dishes.
Oh, the swell-looking dishes.
Sure, that's a picnic with Swan, the new white floating soap. Swan gives you a dish pan full of suds. And look at my hands. They don't get rough and red with Swan. Swan's so mild it helps protect your hands, gives them a beauty treatment.
Well, I'm going to the office. Want to share a strap on the bus with me, Bill?
No, George. I think I'll stay here and tell Gracie what a great wartime buy Swan soap is.
Yeah, do that. She never heard about Swan. Goodbye.
Bye.
Well, I'm going to call Pat O'Brien and invite him over. He'll get a kick out of seeing his picture.
Yeah.
And he'll get along beautifully with George, too. 2 rugged out-of-door men.
Well, now, wait a minute, Gracie. What's rugged about George?
Well, he's a great hunter and trapper.
Really?
Oh, sure. You know that big bearskin rug we have in the den?
Yeah?
Well, George trapped the mouse that chewed a hole in it.
No fooling. The Swantet joins our popular young tenor, Jimmy Cash, in a ballad that's truly heavenly music. Jimmy?
I seem to hear heavenly music. Every time you're near, there's heavenly music. I look at you, and suddenly angel voices sing. Bells begin to ring as we soar higher and higher. Why is my heart blissfully swaying? That's because it hears violins playing. And if the things I read in your eyes are true, then you hear heavenly music.
now afternoon in the Burns home, and George is still at the office. Gracie phoned Pat O'Brien, and she's now in the living room awaiting his arrival.
Coming.
Well, here I am.
Well, Pat O'Brien.
Don't move. Don't move. Just stand there a minute and let me look at you.
Like this?
Mm-hmm. Oh, Gracie, you haven't changed a bit. You're just as beautiful as ever.
And you've only seen one side of me. Should I turn around?
No, I'm convinced. Oh, your eyes still have the sparkle of the lakes of Killarney.
Aha, go along with your Blarney Patrick O'Brien, huh?
Ah, don't be after calling it Blarney. It isn't the way of an O'Brien to flatter every woman he meets.
Isn't?
Sure it isn't.
Tisn't.
I'm telling the truth. She's the prettiest girl you are that I've ever set my eyes upon.
Tis?
Sure and tis.
Tisn't.
Tis.
Tisn't.
All right, then, tisn't.
Tis too.
Oh, gee, Gracie. Things might have been different with us if you hadn't married that juggler.
Oh, George isn't a juggler. He's a comedian.
Hello, Dad.
Oh, it's George. George, this is Pat O'Brien.
Pleasure to meet you, Pat. Thanks, George. Well, how's the juggling game? Juggling?
No, Pat thought you were a juggler.
Oh, no, I'm not a juggler. Say, Gracie, speaking of your husband juggling, remember Jughead Bodkin? I'm not a juggler.
Oh, sure. Good old Jughead. He was the great big fella, wasn't he?
No, that was Fatso Finnegan.
Oh, that's right. Good old Fatso.
Whatever became of him?
Well, he married Jughead Bodkin's sister.
Oh, really? Wasn't she a swell-looking girl by name Annie?
No, you're thinking of Annie O'Toole, who married Spud Murphy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Good old Spud. He was a short, stocky fellow with a mole.
No, that was Knuckles Dugan.
Look,
He married Fatso Finnegan's sister Rosie. You know, cute little bow-legged girl.
No, you're thinking of Michael Mayer's sister Fanny, who married Tim McGonigal.
Oh, that's right. Good old Tim.
Look, folks.
Wasn't he the stout boy with the buck teeth?
No, that was Fatso Finnegan.
Oh, sure, good old Fatso. Whatever became of him?
Oh, he married Jughead Bodkin's sister.
Oh.
Folks, my name is Burns.
What?
George Burns. I'm engaged to Fatso Finnegan.
Oh, my goodness, Pat. I'm afraid we're leaving George out of the conversation.
Oh, so we are. Well, well, Burns, how's the juggling game?
I'm not a juggler.
No, George is a comedian. Nobody can tell a joke like he can.
Thanks, dear.
George, tell Pat the joke about the moron who went through the screen door and strained himself.
Tell it? You.
Go ahead, tell it, dear.
A moron went through a screen door and strained himself.
You don't juggle at all, huh?
No.
Say, Pat, you know who George reminds me of? Millie Rhyme. Wasn't she a circus?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Remember what she said to the street cleaner the time he asked her for a kiss?
Oh, I'll say I do.
What did she say?
I thought I died.
Oh, I never heard anything so funny in my life.
What did she say?
I think it was the best crack Millie ever made.
What did she say?
She said, yeah. Oh, I forget. What did she say, Pat?
I don't remember either.
Oh, but George, I wish you could have been there.
I wish I were there now.
Oh, my goodness, Pat. I'm afraid we're leaving George out of the conversation.
Oh, so we are. Well, Burns, how's the juggling game?
Look, I'm not a juggler.
Isn't it a small world, Gracie? Millie married a juggler, too.
Oh, no, she married Timmy Conley.
Oh, I thought he married Katie McDonald.
Oh, no, Katie married Pat Houlihan.
Anybody know Sam Newman?
Pat Houlihan, you say, Gracie?
Yes. Don't you remember Pat Houlihan?
Oh, sure, I remember him.
Well, today he's an alderman.
No.
Yes.
Look, folks.
And remember Tommy Fitzpatrick?
Oh, of course I remember him.
Well, he's a police captain now.
No.
Yes.
Look, folks.
And remember Frank Casey?
Frank Casey? No, I don't.
Wait a minute. I remember Frank Casey. You introduced me to him once. What about him?
Nothing ever happened to him.
Oh.
afraid we're leaving George out of the conversation.
Oh, so we are. Well, Burns, how's the juggling game?
Fine. Juggling game is fine. How would you folks like some ginger ale?
Say, that reminds me, Gracie. Whatever became of Ginger O'Connor?
I couldn't have picked root beer.
Ginger married a man named Sam Root who runs a beer hall.
Nothing would have helped me.
Hey, Gracie, you know, I'm afraid we're leaving your husband out of the conversation.
Oh, so we are. Well, Burns, how's the juggling game?
I gave it up. I'm a magician now. I also have a dog act and I sing. Say, I think I'll sing right now.
Well, George, if you sing, we won't be able to talk.
I will now sing 15 or 20 songs. Gracie, sit down at the piano. I'll start with Ain't Misbehavin'.
Oh, good. This is one of his best pats.
Ain't misbehaving all by myself. Ain't misbehaving, I'm happy on the shelf.
Pat, remember this?
No.
With the toot of the flute and the twiddle of the fiddle, oh, hopping in the middle like a heron on the griddle, oh, up and down, hands around, crossing to the wall, oh, fiddle is the gaiety, it fill the fluter's ball.
Ain't misbehaving all by myself. Ain't misbehaving, I'm happy on the shelf.
Oh, Pat, remember this? If you would like to see the heights of hospitality, the cream of kind of
ain't misbehaving all by myself. Ain't misbehaving, I'm happy on
the Time for Felix Mills and his orchestra. Tonight, Felix and his muse take to the pipe the blow of all things on the Swan Show, Bubbles.
I've looked everywhere, and I still can't find it. I'm forever blowing bubbles, pretty bubbles in the
Well, George and Gracie and Pat O'Brien are still sitting around the living room. And at last, the topic of conversation has changed. No more talk about Jughead Bodkin, Fatso Finnegan, or Spud Murphy.
Pat, do you remember Muscles Malone?
Sure, good old Muscles. Oh, there was a real football player, the greatest our school ever had.
Oh, no, Pat, you were the greatest.
No, Muscles was the greatest.
No, you were the greatest.
I used to play football.
No, Muscles was the greatest. Oh, what a tackler that boy was.
I was a pretty good tackler.
And how he could run interference. I'll never forget the day I carried the ball and he knocked down every man between me and the goal.
Yeah, and one of them was the referee. Tell me, why did he knock him down?
Oh, Muscles didn't trust anybody.
Oh, good old Muscles.
I blew up a bank today.
Yeah, good old Muscles.
shot the cashier.
Well, what did you say, dear?
Killed a man and blew up a bank.
Oh, that's nice. You know, Pat, I'll bet Muscles was even a better football player than Jack Dempsey.
Oh, sure, even better than Babe Ruth.
Oh, how could you compare him to a girl?
I'll answer
Oh,
it.
now, let me go, dear. I don't want to interrupt your conversation with Pat.
Never mind, we're almost talked out. Oh, hello, Miss Pringle.
Where's your wife? Want to borrow a cup of vinegar?
She's inside talking to Pat O'Brien, the movie actor.
Don't like movie actors. Use paint and powder. Sissies.
Oh, hate actors, huh?
I'd like to tell him a thing or two. He wouldn't stay around me long.
Well, come right in.
Oh, hello, Miss Pringle. Oh, I'd like you to meet Mr. Pat O'Brien.
I'm glad to know you, too.
Miss Burns, I want to borrow a cup of vinegar.
Well, of course, Miss Pringle. I'll give you the whole bottle, and you can drink as much as you like.
Don't drink it. Use it for salad dressing.
You know, I'll bet you make a mighty delicious salad, Miss Pringle.
When I want your opinion, I'll ask for it. Sissy.
Huh? What's that?
She hates actors, don't you, Miss Pringle?
I don't like your type either.
Why, Miss Pringle, you're pretty enough to be an actress yourself.
Fiddlestick.
Honestly, you've got the face and figure of a Hollywood glamour girl.
Ha!
Well, you ought to go around in a sweater.
Oh, Pat, why don't you stop?
Now, you keep out of this.
What were you saying, Patrick, dear?
Miss Pringle, the vinegar is in the kitchen. Goodbye.
Say, Pat, doesn't she remind you of Maggie Malone?
Yeah, Muscles' Aunt Maggie. She married Danny Hogan.
No, she married Leo Fitzgerald.
Would you people like to see a card trick?
Oh, my goodness, Pat, I'm afraid we're leaving George out of the conversation.
Oh, so we are. Well, Burns...
The juggling game is fine. Here, take a card. I'll go.
Hi, George.
Just a minute, Bill. Do you know any Irish people in San Francisco?
No.
Ever play football with a character named Muscles Malone?
No.
Okay, you can come in.
What's up, George?
Well, for 3 hours, I've been listening to Gracie and Pat O'Brien talk about old times. I can't get a word in.
Oh, kind of boring, huh?
Boring. Bill, I would throw Pat O'Brien right out on his ear if I weren't such a gentleman.
You mean such an old gentleman?
Anyway, you get the idea.
Well, listen, George, why not give them a dose of their own medicine?
You mean you and me?
Well, sure, what else? We'll carry on a conversation and leave them out of it. That'll cure them.
Swell. What do we talk about?
Well, you just say to me, what do you hear from Myrtle? And I'll take it from there.
Myrtle?
Yeah, she's a little red-headed riveter I was out with last night. We'll talk about her.
A defense work?
Well, it worked pretty well last night. Oh, you mean the riveting? Yes, the riveting, yes.
Well, okay, come on, Bill. Now, my cue is, what do you hear from Myrtle?
What do you hear from Myrtle? Right.
Yeah.
Oh, hello, Bill. Do you know Pat O'Brien?
Oh, sure. Hello, Pat.
Hello, Bill.
Bill, what do you hear from Myrtle?
Myrtle, the riveter? Well, I'll tell you, George.
Say, Bill, don't you sell Swan soap?
Well, yeah. Do you use it, Pat?
Sure.
Don't say.
Sure I do.
Gracie, Pat uses Swan soap.
No.
Yeah.
Bill, what do you hear from Myrtle?
Pat. Did you know that Swan is 4 pure soaps in one?
No, did you, Gracie?
Oh, sure.
Oh, sure. It's a soap for your dishes, light laundry, bathing the baby, or for your hands and face. 4 swell soaps in one. Pure as fine Castiles, too.
Bill, what do you hear from Myrtle?
Bill, tell Pat how great Swan is for bathing the baby.
Oh, and lots of doctors recommend Swan for the baby.
Myrtle, hurt something?
You see, Swan is so mild, so gentle, that it's kind even to a baby's tender skin, so it must be great for your skin, huh, Pat?
Sure, and I've got a skin just like a baby.
Yeah. What do you hear from Myrtle? From Myrtle, you know the river.
Say, Pat. Pat, old man, did I tell you that Swan, the new white floating soap, breaks in 2 so you can use half in the kitchen for dishes and cleaning and half in the bathroom for your tub or shower?
No.
Well, you can.
Well, isn't it a small world?
Yeah.
All right, now, what do you hear from Myrtle?
Oh, Myrtle.
Yeah.
Well,
say, Bill, is that Myrtle Kelly?
Well, yes. Do you know her, Pat?
Sure, I do.
Don't say.
Sure.
Gracie, Pat knows Myrtle Kelly.
No.
Yes.
Out, Myrtle, who wants to...
Ow, ow.
Benedict Arnold.
Pat, remember Benny Arnold, the football
No! Oh, sure! Sure, he coached the last year Muscles ran interference for me.
Look, would you people like to play gin rummy?
Gracie, speaking of rummy, Muscles' old man certainly was one.
Yeah, I never met him, but I stepped over him lots of times.
Would you people like to play a little... I'll go.
Good morning, Mr. Burns.
Oh, hello, Mr. Postman.
Is something disturbing your tranquility, Mr. Burns?
Yeah, my wife was in there talking to a guy about their old school days, and I can't get a word in edgewise.
Oh, yes, that can become quite disgusting. When my wife does it, I remonstrate with her.
Remonstrate?
Yes. You know, slugger.
Look, Postman, do you play gin rummy?
Oh, yes.
Well, come on in. We'll play cards and ignore them.
All right.
Well, hello, Mr. Postman.
Good evening, Mrs. Why, Pat O'Brien.
Muscles Malone.
No.
Well, George and Grace will be back in a second. Meanwhile, I'd like to remind you that just because you do your own housework and have your hands in soap and water a good deal, that's no reason why you can't have soft, lovely hands. Just make sure the soap you use is a mild soap. Or, I should say, make sure the soap you use is Swan. And Swan gives you loads of mild, gentle suds. Suds that are really kind to your hands. Swan is pure as fine Castiles. Try Swan. It's a great buy anytime, an even greater buy in wartime. Well, here they are again. America's happiest Mr. and Mrs. George and Gracie.
Oh, we're a little late, ladies and gentlemen. Good night.
Thank you, Gracie. Tonight's guest, Pat O'Brien, will be seen starring in the RKO picture, The Iron Major. The makers of Swan, the new white floating soap, join George and Gracie in inviting you to tune in to your CBS station again next week, same time, when we'll have as our guest, Hedy Lamarr. And the following week, Jack Benny. Remember, George Burns and Gracie Allen, CBS next Tuesday night. And now, until next week, this is Bill Goodwin saying, well, I, Swan, how about you? Good night.
Billy Brown, the smoothest, coolest guy in town. The chicks all seem to dig his jive. Hey, tell us, Bill, how can we arrive? It's easy, Jack. Any gal gets sent when you flash a smile by Pepsodent. You'll wonder where the yellow went when you brush your teeth with Pepsodent.
Pepsodent's new improved formula cleans teeth whiter than ever. Tastes brighter, too. New formula Pepsodent contains IMP. There's nothing else as good at getting teeth white.
You'll wonder where the yellow went when you brush your teeth with Pepsodent.
Keep it tuned right here to HOJO Radio for more classic old-time radio.
Well, hello. Come right in. Oh, George, we've got company.
This is Bill Goodwin, speaking for Lever Brothers, makers of Swan, the new white floating soap that's pure as fine Castiles. Well, it's Tuesday night again, time for another pleasant visit with George Burns and Gracie Allen, our guest, lovely Hedy Lamarr, Jimmy Cash, and Felix Mills and his orchestra. And now, meet the people who live in the Burns house, George and Gracie. Well, it's afternoon, and George is just getting home from the office. As he opens the front door, he hears Gracie on the telephone talking to Pat O'Brien.
Oh, no, Pat. Tim Houlihan married Katie McDonald. It was Muscles Malone who married Fatso Finnegan's sister.
Oh, no, not again.
Oh, hello, George. Pat, George just came in. Huh? Oh, wait a minute, I'll ask him. George, how's the juggling game?
Will you tell that Irishman I'm not a juggler?
Oh, of course. Pat, George isn't a juggler. He's a comedian. Sure. Well, wait. I'll have him tell you that joke about the moron who flooded the football field so the coach could send him in as a sub. Here, George. Tell Pat that joke.
Hang up. Hang up.
Oh, hello, Pat. Well, I better hang up. George isn't his usual comical self today. Goodbye.
That guy has got everybody in town thinking I'm a juggler. Can't he get it through that head of his that I'm not
now, George, don't be upset. I have some good news for you.
What?
Well, look, tomorrow is Navy Day, and what do you think is going to happen to Tootsie Sagwell?
Very little if I know our Navy.
You're wrong. There's a big contest to choose the Queen of the Fleet, and the sailors are going to elect Tootsie.
Gracie, the boys would rather kiss a duffel bag. She hasn't got a chance.
Oh, is that so? Well, it just happens that Tootsie is in second place.
Really? How many girls in the contest?
2.
I see, and Tootsie's in second place.
Yes.
And who's in first place? Monty Woolley?
Oh, no. Silly, it's a girl.
Is she the same type as Tootsie?
It's Teddy Lamar.
Hetty Lamar?
Yes. All the other girls dropped out of the contest when they heard that Hetty was in it, but Tootsie's not afraid of her. She's giving Hetty a terrific battle.
How does it stand?
Well, Hetty has 2,617,000 votes.
And how many votes has Tootsie?
3.
That's a close race. How did she get the 3 votes?
She has 4 brothers in the Navy.
4 brothers, and she's got 3 votes?
Well, one of them has seen Hetty Lamar.
Look, Gracie, Tootsie hasn't got a chance. Why don't you forget this silly thing?
Oh, because I'm not a quitter. It's like I told the newspaper reporters, and you'll be proud of this, George. I said, Mrs. George Burns is always for the underdog, no matter how homely other people may think they are. If she weren't, she wouldn't be Mrs. George Burns.
I'm proud.
And besides, George, it would mean so much to Tootsie's father if she could be elected Queen of the Fleet.
Tootsie's father?
Yeah, he's captain of the SS Dauntless.
Battleship?
No.
Cruiser?
No.
Destroyer?
No, you're getting warm.
Well, what is it?
A garbage scow.
Garbage scow. Well, that's practically a destroyer.
Come in.
Oh, Gracie, guess what?
What, Tootsie?
I just got another boat.
No.
Yes. I went swimming with a cute little sailor. It only took me 3 minutes to get him to vote for me.
Really?
I didn't want to hold him under any longer than that.
I'll see you girls later. I'm going down to the cigar store.
Oh, aren't you thrilled, Tootsie? When you become Queen of the Fleet, you can have your pick of any sailor.
Yes. If I do get a husband, Papa says he'll marry me on his boat, the SS Dauntless.
Oh, that would be wonderful. You could not only have orange blossoms, but the peelings, too.
Oh, yes.
Hello, Gracie. Hi, Tootsie.
Hello, Bill.
Oh, Bill, have you heard the news? Tootsie may become Queen of the Fleet.
Queen of the Fleet?
Yeah, the Navy's taking a poll.
Well, they are if they take Tootsie.
Well, Bill, the contest is narrowed down to Tootsie and Hetty Lamar.
Hetty Lamar?
Uh-huh.
Oh, brother, there is a beautiful woman. You know, I see her out at MGM every day. She's making a picture called The Heavenly Body.
The Heavenly Body. Oh, it must be about the moon or the planet.
Silly girl.
Oh, Bill, if I get to be Queen of the Fleet, all the sailors will want to marry me, but if you'd like to get in your bid now...
Yes, Bill. Tootsie would rather have a bird in the hand.
Would you, Tootsie?
Oh, yes.
Well, okay, here.
What's that?
A bar of swan. Now you got a bird in the hand.
But, Bill...
You're a wise girl, Tootsie. Swan, the new white floating soap, is 4 soaps in 1. The soap for your hands and face, for bathing the baby, for washing the dishes, and for doing your light laundry. 4 swell soaps in 1.
Oh, Bill, what I meant was I'd love to marry a sailor, but I'd rather marry a radio announcer.
Oh, well, what are we waiting for, Tootsie?
You mean...
Sure, let's go speak to Harlow Wilcox.
I think Tootsie would prefer a husband who sells Swan soap.
Yes.
Must get an understudy. Another man who can remind folks that Swan is great for dishes because it gives so much suds so fast. Someone who knows that Swan is so mild and gentle it doesn't give your hands that rough red dish panty look.
Well, it's no use, Tootsie. Bill wouldn't marry you unless you came in a cool green wrapper with a white swan on the front.
That's right, and if you were a great wartime buy like Swan.
Oh, come on, Tootsie. If you're going to win this election, You have to contact over 2 million sailors between now and midnight. Do you think you can do it?
It'll be fun trying.
Well, now, wait a minute, girls. You're not serious, are you? Why, the only way Tootsie could win would be for Hetty Lamar to withdraw.
Say, I never thought of that. I'll go right over and talk to Hetty.
Oh, don't do that, Gracie.
No?
No. Let me go.
Oh, no, Bill. I wouldn't even take you along with me. I want to talk business with Hetty, and you'd only interfere.
Oh, Gracie, I promise you I'll just sit there on her lap as quiet as a mouse.
You mean you'd be satisfied just to sit on Hetty Lamar's lap and hug her and kiss her and not say a word to her?
Sure.
Oh, well, no, you certainly can't go. I don't want her to think my friends are unsociable.
Our popular young tenor, Jimmy Cash, and a new popular ballad, My Heart Tells Me. James?
Sometimes I feel so very certain that you care, and there are times I feel we don't belong. The more I fall for you, the more I must beware. So how am I to know if I am right or wrong? For my heart tells me this is just a fling. Yet you say our love means everything. Do you mean what you are saying? Or is this a little game you're playing? My heart tells me I will cry again. Lips that kiss like yours could lie again. If I'm fool enough to see this through, will I be sorry if I do? Should I believe my heart?
Well, Gracie is just arriving at Hetty Lamar's house to try to persuade her to withdraw from the Queen of the Fleet contest in favor of Tootsie Sagwell.
Yes? Oh, how do you do, Miss Lamar?
Won't you come in, Miss Allen?
Oh, thank you. Oh, but let's not be so formal. You call me Gracie and I'll call you Hetty.
All right, Gracie.
Ah, that's better. After all, we probably have a great many things in common beside our beauty.
Well, what did you want to see me about, Gracie?
Well, Hetty, I'm going to be concise and to the point. No beating around the bush. Strictly business. I have a girlfriend. My, that's a lovely dress. Is it new?
Yes. You like it?
Oh, I think it's charming. My dress is new, too.
Really? It's stunning.
Isn't it, though? Well, I'm going to be concise and to the point, Hetty. You see, this girl... My hat is new, too.
You don't say. It's simply beautiful.
Oh, no. Do you really think so?
Yes.
Oh, so do I. And you know, this hat was my own idea.
Oh, you designed it?
No, but it was my idea to buy it.
How nice. What was it you wanted to say?
Oh, well, I'm going to be concise and to the point. You're in a contest to... Say, do you have your hair done at Dorothy's?
Why, yes.
You know, I thought I saw you coming out of there the other day. She does my hair, too. Gorgeous, isn't it?
Oh, yes.
Oh, flatterer.
Gracie, you had something to say to me.
Oh, yes. Well, Hetty, I'm going to be concise and to the point.
How much do you want to bet?
Oh, I am. Now, my girlfriend... Oh, my, those are lovely stockings you have on.
Thank you. I'll send you a bottle of them.
I wish you would. I just hate wearing Bobby socks. They make me feel even younger than I look, if such a thing is possible.
Gracie, you said you had something to say to me.
Oh, yes, I have, and it's terribly important.
Well, what is it?
Hetty, I'm going to be concise and to the point.
Oh, no. Now, this time, please beat around the bush.
Oh, no, I'm too businesslike. Hetty, I want you to withdraw from the Queen of the Fleet contest.
Withdraw? But why? The boys on every ship voted for me.
Well, not all of them. Haven't you heard about the Tootsie Sagwell vote?
The Tootsie Sagwell? Is that an American ship?
Oh, no. No, Tootsie's my girlfriend. She's your rival in the contest.
Oh.
Now, Hetty, please do me a favor. Come over to my house and talk to Tootsie.
Well, all right, Gracie, if you want me to.
Oh, good. One look at her and you'll know you haven't got a chance. Tootsie, I brought Miss Lamar back with me to show her why she might as well give up. Hetty, this is Tootsie Sagwell.
How do you do?
Oh, Miss Lamar, I'm so sorry we have to be rivals. I've always been crazy about you.
Oh, you're very kind, Miss Sagwell.
Oh, your love scenes are wonderful. Tell me, how does it feel when Charles Boyer puts his face close to yours and whispers in your ear?
You really want to know?
Yes.
It tickles a little.
Is that all? Well, Hetty, now that you've seen Tootsie, don't you agree that it's silly for you to stay in the race?
No, Gracie. I believe I still have a chance.
But Tootsie is the ideal Queen of the Fleet. Aren't sailors very manly?
Of course they are.
Well, Tootsie's type of beauty is much manlier than yours.
Gracie, the sailors all voted for me.
I know, and I can't understand it. Here, stand up side by side and let me compare you two.
All right.
Very well.
Just as I thought. There's no difference in your faces. Your eyes and ears and nose and mouth are the same.
Really?
Yeah, I counted them very carefully.
Oh, thanks, Gracie.
Now, why should we argue, Hetty? Just drop out and let Tootsie be Queen of the Fleet.
I'm sorry, Gracie. I'd step aside for Miss Sagwell if the honor wasn't such a great one.
Oh, I don't blame her, Gracie. I'll just tell Daddy that I lost.
Yeah. Oh, yes, your father. Oh, the poor old captain. Hetty, would you want to break an old man's heart?
Why, no.
But you will if Tootsie doesn't win. It'll be the end of Captain Sagwell, the most gallant old sailor whose timbers ever shivered.
Your father, Tootsie?
Yes, he's captain of the SS Dauntless.
Oh, is that a famous ship?
Oh, very famous. When the Dauntless sails up the river, people for miles around know that it's coming. Oh, especially on a windy day.
But why am I breaking his heart?
Oh, because Tootsie is all the poor old Salt has left. Before she was born, he hoped that she'd be a young Salt. And he was very sad when she turned out to be a saltine.
I see.
He still tries to make her part of the Davy. To this very day, he calls her bedroom the crow's nest.
Gracie, that's a very touching story.
Yeah, I thought so, too. Oh, be kind to Captain Sagwell, Hetty. The poor old man is all shot to pieces.
Oh, too bad. In what battle was he wounded?
What battle? Well, name one.
Well, the Battle of Manila.
Well, that's amazing. You guessed it the very first time. Oh, please, Hetty, won't you let his daughter be Queen of the Fleet?
Well, I could see him and talk to him.
Oh, no, you better not. He's pretty weak and old.
Yes, Daddy's very feeble these days.
Wait, I see your father now coming up the walk.
My father?
He must be. I noticed the family resemblance.
But, Hetty...
Here he is, fumbling at the door.
Hello, Dan.
Oh, hello.
Say, isn't this Hetty Lamar?
Yes, I'm Hetty Lamar. Here, let me help you to a chair.
Help me to a chair?
Yes. Gracie tells me you're shot.
I am not. I'm as sober as a judge.
Oh, George, I want to see him again right away.
Mills and his orchestra with a special Mills version of one of the season's cleverest songs. They're either too young or too old.
Understand this. Why did you rush me into the den? I'd like to talk to Hetty Lamar.
Well, George, you see, Hetty liked to try a dress I was wearing, and she wanted to try it on.
Oh.
And naturally, you wouldn't want to be where she's trying on a dress, would you? Would you? George, get that silly grin off your face.
Okay, honey, I'll stay here.
Oh, good. I'll be back in a minute. Hetty?
Yes, Gracie?
Well, now that you've seen Captain Sagwell, are you going to withdraw from the contest and let Tootsie be Queen of the Fleet?
Well, I don't know, Gracie. It's such a great honor.
Oh, but the men in the service have honored you lots of times, and it's only happened to Tootsie once.
How did they honor her?
Well, the boys in the Army chose Tootsie as the girl they'd most like to snuggle up to their sergeant. Oh, excuse me, Hetty.
Hi, Gracie. Well, what's wrong? You look worried.
Oh, I am, Bill. Look, could you do anything with Hetty Lamar?
Well, I could certainly try.
Well, she's in there. Go in and persuade her to let Tootsie be Queen of the Fleet.
You leave it to me, Gracie.
Yes?
I'm, Bill Goodwin.
Yes, I've heard of you.
Oh, good.
No, not so good.
Well, I suppose you've heard that I'm the sort of fellow who wants to sit on the sofa with a girl as soon as he meets her.
That's exactly what I've heard.
Well, it's not true. Here, let's sit on the sofa and I'll prove it to you.
What did you wish to see me about, Mr. Goodwin?
Well, Miss Lamar, you'd better move closer if you want to hear me. I can't talk very loud. There's a frog in my throat.
No, thank you.
Well, why not?
There's also a wolf in your eye.
Well, here we are. Gracie sent me in to talk about Tootsie Sagwell, but I've got a better idea. Guess what it is?
I suppose you talk about Swan soap.
Oh, Hetty, are you kidding? Me alone with Hetty Lamar and I talk about Swan, the new white floating soap? Listen, would I waste my time telling you that Swan is 4 pure soaps in one? The soap for your dishes, your light laundry for bathing the baby, or for your hands and face? 4 swell soaps in one and pure as fine castiles? You bet I wouldn't. I'm no fool.
Of course not.
You said it. Why, this is the chance of a lifetime. This is the time to talk about your gorgeous hair, your lovely lips, your delicate skin. The kind that Swan would be great for. Because Swan is so mild and gentle. Why, doctors recommend Swan for bathing the baby. It's kind even to a baby's tender skin. Me talk about Swan at a time like this. Ha!
Ha!
How can I think of soap when we're sitting here as close together as the two halves of a bar of Swan? Which, by the way, you can break in two and use half in the kitchen for dishes and light laundry and half in the bathroom for your tub or shower. How could I do that?
Yes, how could you?
Well, Hetty, I just couldn't. If I talked about Swan now, I'd be the biggest sap in the United States. But I'm not. I'm...
What?
I'm the biggest sap in the United States. Goodbye, Hetty.
Well, Hetty, did Bill persuade you to drop out of the contest?
No, Gracie. In fact, the only person who has moved me at all is that poor old man, Captain Sagwell.
Oh, yes, Tootsie's father. Hetty, for his sake, won't you give Tootsie your 2,617,000 votes?
Well, I'll go in and talk to him again.
No, you can't do that.
Why not?
Well, he's taking the bath. I'll go in.
You'll go in?
Oh, well, he bathes with his clothes on. You know how the laundries are nowadays. You stay here. I'll get him. George, it's such a lovely day. Get out of the house quick.
Huh?
It's too beautiful to sit indoors. Go to a movie.
But, Gracie...
George, you know what a different man you used to be after seeing Clark Gable in a picture.
I was?
Yes. They're reviving a Clark Gable picture of the Bijou. Why don't you go down and get revived, too?
Honestly, Gracie, I think you're trying to get rid of me.
Well, honestly, I am, George.
Look, but I'd like to talk to Hetty Lamar.
Oh, wait, George, wait. I'll tell you the real reason I want you to leave.
What?
Hetty Lamar has fallen madly in love with you.
That's silly.
I know, but she has anyhow.
Hetty Lamar in love. Oh, stop.
It's true, George, and I'm afraid I might lose you.
This is ridiculous. Hetty Lamar's only seen me once. Now, if she'd seen me a couple of times, I could understand it.
George, please leave. It's dangerous for you and Hetty to be in this house together. Any moment now, the spark may leap into a flame and burn our marriage to the ground. Oh, there are the firemen now.
That's the telephone.
Oh, hello? Oh, hold on to the phone a minute, Tootsie. George, sneak out of the house and don't let Hetty Lamar see you.
Oh, all right.
Just a moment. I want to see you.
You do?
Yes. I've been thinking this thing over, and there's only one thing for me to do. Give in.
You think so?
Oh, you brave man. When I think of what you've been through, I could kiss you.
Oh, really, Hetty?
Come home with me. I've got 2,617,000, and you can have them all.
Gee, that's a lot.
That's all I've got.
Oh, don't apologize.
Will you come home with me right now?
Look, I'm very happily married.
Well, what difference does that make?
No, please, let go of my sleeve.
But it's got to be now. Tomorrow it'll be all over.
So soon?
Of course. Tomorrow is Navy Day.
Hetty, you don't know what you're saying.
Oh, yes, I do. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of every bullet hole in that poor little chest of yours.
Bullet hole?
Yes, I heard all about it from your daughter.
My daughter?
Yes, and don't worry. She'll be queen of the fleet, Captain Sagwell.
Captain who?
Captain Sagwell. Aren't you Captain Sagwell?
Of course not. I'm George Burns.
George Burns the juggler?
What's going on? Gracie, come out here.
Did you call me Captain Sagwell?
Stop with that Captain Sagwell. Hetty knows who I am.
I'm afraid your game's up, Gracie. Tootsie won't be queen of the fleet.
Oh, those poor sailors. Well, I tried.
Gracie, just what did you tell Hetty Lamar about me?
Well, I told her you were a feeble, old, broken-down sea captain.
Now tell her the truth.
Hetty?
Yes?
He's not a sea captain.
Well, George and Gracie will be right back. Meanwhile, I'd like to remind you not to waste soap. Wasting soap is unpatriotic, you know, because soap is made of essential materials for the war front and the home front. So don't leave the soap in the water when you're bathing or washing dishes or duds or baby. And don't whip up more suds than you need. Keep soap dishes dry, too, because a wet soap dish dissolves soap and wastes it. And make soap jelly out of soap slivers. Well, that's the story, friends. Avoid wasting soap and do one more thing to help wash up the Axis. And now here they are again, America's happiest Mr. and Mrs., George and Gracie.
Oh, now, George. George, don't be angry. I only did it because tomorrow was Navy Day, and I wanted to do something nice for the Navy.
But nothing good ever comes out of these silly ideas of yours.
Well, something did this time. We've been invited to go on a 3-day cruise.
Really? On a battleship?
No, on the SS Gauntlet.
Oh, the garbage scow.
The makers of Swan, the new white floating soap, join George and Gracie in inviting you to tune in to your Columbia station again next week, same time, when we'll have as our guest Jack Benny. Remember, George Burns and Gracie Allen, CBS next Tuesday night. And now till next week, this is Bill Goodwin saying, well, I Swan, how about you? Good night, everybody.
Now, here's just one parting word to you folks. Next time you go to the store, get yourself some Lifebuoy, because you're going to like Lifebuoy's rich, purifying lather the first time you use it. And after you've used it a week, you'll never be without it. That's right. Now stick to Lifebuoy a while, and you'll be joining in with our gang here when you hear them sing,
the name of the soap is Lifebuoy. You gotta keep fresh with Lifebuoy, so always insist on Lifebuoy, for Lifebuoy really stops B.O. Yes, Lifebuoy really stops B.O.
Thank you, and good night, folks.
Thanks for listening to HOJO Radio. We'll be back again very soon.